Seth here. 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 Here. Seth here. Seth here.
You the player as, and it's kind of some interesting side stories you can pick up on. You know, they have kind of recognize the weather a bit, or talk about, you know, oh, it's hot out there, it's cold out there, it's weather appropriate responses. Just a lot of little stuff. There a ton of detail went into this, and it's going to make them feel a lot more fleshed out. I'm not sure what the status is. Kind of like some rumors. I don't think those are wired in yet, but they were going to be.
You better
can
take
ask
this
them
job.
about these
I'm
rumors, and they're
going to
basically
your bullshit.
talk about what they like and dislike. Maybe talk about Duke and Noah. They'll talk about the other traders.
What are you standing there
There's a little
for?
bit of
Don't you have work
rapport
to do?
going on between the traders that they're going to tell you the player as, and it's kind of some interesting side stories you can pick up on. You know, they have kind of recognize the weather a bit, or talk about, you know, oh, it's hot out there, it's cold out there, it's weather appropriate responses. Just a lot of little stuff. There a ton of detail went into this, and it's going to make them feel a lot more fleshed out. I'm not sure what the status is. Everything's in, but when all goes in, it'll definitely feel really fleshed out.
So it's going to be a lot more life than 21, and a lot more functionality. All of them have a minimum of all the unique sets and extra unique files than in parity with Trader Jen, what she had before. Yeah. As far as, you know, functionality. But on top of that, we have some other functionality that's coming that's new. Some will make it in, some won't. There'll be files that will get unlocked in a patch that offer additional functionality and different voice files that you've never heard before. Likely, because, you know, we're not going to delay the entire build for everybody's waiting for it.
You know the drill,
for
asshole.
a few additional features at this point.
I'd tell you to go fuck
Welcome
yourself,
to my channel.
but you did that when you didn't buy anything.
We can get those in later.
Welcome to my channel.
We think a lot of folks have been waiting for 1.0 long enough, and we think especially the console folks have been waiting long enough. And we're excited to give that to them.
Yeah, I'm going to trigger the opening and closing.
So you get the loudspeaker opening, closing sounds, and there's a variety of them. You don't hear the same one.
Yeah, a lot of randomization to these, and then like when you turn your quest in, those are all randomized. And then there's a special reward sound too, for when you graduate to the next tier. They'll say something special when he gives you the special reward too. So
more greets than there used to be.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, I went too far. What was the time again for closing?
2200. Well, they'll give you a little warning about 20 seconds full, you know, before they're going to say we're closing soon. So make your final selections, get the F out, depending on whoever the trader is. Some of them are really nice about it, and you know, trader rep how he is. But yeah, so they give you a little warning when they're going to be closing soon, and then right before they close. I think it might be a little bit before 2200.
Yeah, it is. It's 2150 is what everybody.
You got enough time to make a last trade or turn in a quest, but that's about it. You know, you get in there and get your last work done. But
yep.
So
hold on. Couple seconds, and it's gonna play the other one. Well, a few more seconds.
Deny AI. Welcome to my channel.
Here it goes.
Pram Arats. Welcome to my channel.
Okay, or come on, Rect. Okay, well the closing sound's not working for Rect at the moment.
Unless it's 5 till.
No, it's locked now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I didn't register. Okay, well it'll be fixed, everybody. That was very anticlimactic. We're all just kind of waiting quietly, and then it didn't even do it.
Yeah, it's been working great for me because I built my base right next to him, and he says it every night. So
So
It's pretty hilarious though.
we're a little ahead of schedule. Go ahead.
There it went. Did y'all hear it, everybody? Okay. Anyway.
So we're a little ahead of schedule. I don't know if you wanted to go back and show a couple things that we might have shown a little bit or touched on last dev stream. I was thinking maybe did you load up a monster truck and augment it and drive in it or anything like that?
No, actually we did not.
Oh, the new mini bike's in too.
Why don't you turn it to daytime so they can see what's going on?
Yeah, and I think it has expanded seating mod you can put into it, so 2 people can ride a mini bike now if you have the mod.
All the vehicles look
when he
really
said
bad.
monster truck, he was talking about the 4x4.
4x4.
Calm down.
Yeah. Well, it is a monster truck. It's way bigger than the old one was.
See?
It's freaking huge.
Then you can modify it and have your whole party jump in there and ride around.
Put the gas can mod on and the front plow and put all the mods on.
It's tenable.
Which is the gas can mod?
Oh, just do mod. Type in mod.
Mod. We have too many mods.
Lonely EJ.
No,
hates that.
Welcome to my channel.
You can. Is it right that it can? With a mod you can.
There you go.
You can
There's the plow.
You can seat 6 if you have the mod. Is that
armor.
right?
Put the armor on. Put the plow on. Put the expanded seats in. And then maybe the head and the headlights maybe.
Is it true that it seats 6 if you've got the full mods? Is it right?
I believe so, yes.
It seats 4 by default and then 6 modded.
If you have the mod, you can seat 6, so a party of 6 can ride the wasteland together in this thing. Look at that front mod.
The armor doesn't go onto this, but
that
allows you to run zombies over without your vehicle exploding so fast.
So concept art by James, modeled by Young Hao. This is and then code, a lot of code work and physics by
expanded
Sean.
fuel tank. You'll see gas tanks on the side when you put that one in. You get the expanded fuel tank. Yeah, there you go.
Fuel tank. Okay, hold on.
So there's physical mods that improve it, and you can see a lot of sometimes a model change to it.
There you go.
Once you get a tent for it,
you put that on, and then you'll see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at that. That's
gas
awesome.
Cans. So you got these gas cans on the side now. Totally badass. So your upgrade just feels so rewarding now because you have these visual augmentations.
It does plow zombies when you have the plow, so that's like the best way.
I mean, you could plow them anyway, but it does a lot more damage to your truck. But with that plow on it,
We have to grab a tent that baby yellow or something for us, for fun.
I think there's a green tent bug right now. That's why it's green by default.
Oh, maybe it is.
The yellow might override. Yeah, try that orange out real quick.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Oh, the green was just installed to it.
Okay. Yeah, the green was just installed.
Drive it around.
Nice. When you floor it, if you're looking sideways, you can see the acceleration. It just like squats down and goes. It looks so cool. When you're like passenger and you just kind of like free cam looking around, you see him floor it. It's like the whole ass end squats down. And it feels real, you know. There's just like put a lot of work into
physics and gears.
Yeah, just a lot of little stuff, but yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, look at that.
I need some zombies to run over.
You hit kill all like 80 times. So.
I know. Here, I'll just spawn some. Let me come back over here and I'll put some in the road. It's not a big deal.
Good idea. Right there.
Wait, was DM not on? I thought it was. Okay. Let's do that. Spawn 25. How about Arlene? That'll be fine.
Picking on Arlene.
I know, it happens.
Oh.
Oh man.
Welcome to my channel.
Knocking over light poles.
It's fine. It's fine.
No
big deal.
Oh.
Turn it to nighttime. Turn those badass headlights on.
Okay.
See what that looks like. Got the off-road lights. I noticed that when the brake lights work now too on vehicles. So when you hit the brakes, you can see your tail lights light up and stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah, see the tail lights are functional.
oh
Oh no!
oh no, we're fine. See,
Oh
we're fine.
man,
We're
gonna
fine,
blow the
everybody.
damn thing up.
I just wanted to run him over with that back left tire. That was all on purpose.
She just wants to go for a ride. Like, hey, let me in that passenger seat.
That's it.
You got room for Arlene? Lathan's cruising around trying to pick up chicks on a Thursday night.
He pissed her.
Okay, so how about this?
Smacking on his window.
Oh, let me run him over.
Ran over Lois Griffin.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right, turn it back to daytime and show them a mini bike or maybe a motorcycle. Those are both. They look. All the new vehicles look amazing.
I haven't seen the new chopper. I just got the mini bike. They just checked those in, so I'm only
Okay, so mini bike. Let's do...
There's a seat mod for that to expand it.
Pop
So
the seat mod on. I haven't been able to craft one yet, so.
You want me to show it so you know if you want to use it or not? You're like, oh.
Yeah. There's a little bit of controversy over that seat.
Oh, we
tuned it down.
Well, it became a lawn chair because some people happen to be too cool for a toilet, so we thought that was kind of fun. But
oh, okay. So we got rid of
it's a lawn chair seat.
It still looks cool though.
It's still hillbilly, if you will, and it's fun.
Makeshift.
So look at that. You got a lawn chair on the back. You can drive around in style. You can.
We got custom animations coming for these two. You can see. So each.
Look at that.
It's not
well,
working right yet.
And
hands aren't on the handlebars, but when we get that fixed, it's gonna look great.
And Andres is who came from Hollywood Special Effects has been upgrading a lot of the VFX in the game.
Oh, that's right. Hey, I think they want us to show off a little bit of his explosions. I know that's not on our list, but
yeah, you could get a rocket launcher and put a couple of red barrels or explosive TNTs or something somewhere. But
is the
show
gyro?
I don't know.
You could do like me and take a minigun to your helicopter.
But
I don't know if
is the gyro?
I don't know if
the
was the last one on his list. I'm not sure if it made it in yet. It's going to be in by experimental.
Okay, I mean we can.
But there's a new model that's cool. Oh, look at that! Woo!
Jeez.
Well, and the block physics too, when you destroy something, are more of a particle effect model that turn into a terrain effect if something gets destroyed. So.
And that 4x4 looks.
Did y'all hear that?
Lathan, what'd you eat for dinner?
my puppy is having problems. Hold on a second.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry. For everybody who doesn't know, I have a new Boston Terrier, and yeah, he's a flat face, so of course sometimes he gets that going on. So okay. Anyway, let's continue. Gyrocopter, you want to just try it, even though we don't know if it's
what's introduce the dog to the family?
Okay, hold on.
What's his name?
His name is Sparky. People have seen him on my stream. Here, hold on a second.
Oh, Sparky.
Sparky, I know
our
you hate
cats
when we do
last
this.
stream.
You're like, I'm not a dancing monkey. I don't need to be shown every single time.
Wait, is his name Sparky?
Anyway.
Sparky?
Hey, buddy.
That was my old boss's name,
Hey,
Sparky.
buddy. Oh.
He was the inspiration for
just
Trader
woke
Rex.
up.
Sparky.
Sparky was.
Okay, I
Oh
can't hear
my
you all at
gosh.
the moment, by the way. But,
Figures.
yeah. Okay, you want to come back now?
Nice.
I know.
What a cute dog.
Okay.
So we got to get Sparky in the game. His picture,
Or at least a picture on a wall.
Anyway,
About
sorry.
to looking for
Let's,
loot behind it.
Let's go back.
So, tameable Sparky animals coming to a future
Don't tell
update.
them that. They're going to actually think you're serious.
Confirmed.
7 days to dog.
7 dogs today.
Oh, God. People are recording this right now, going, "Oh my God, we're finally getting it."
We're finally getting it. Tameable dogs.
Oh man, yeah.
You know,
That's confirmed.
that's my favorite. That is my favorite thing about Fallout 4. You know, dog meat. You know.
Dog meat, yeah, he's pretty cool.
Anyway, what about a gyrocopter? We want to try to show that?
If you got one, otherwise.
I want to see the motorcycle, but no, the gyrocopter's fine. Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
do that.
yeah.
But you probably can't fly it, so this will be horrible.
Wait, is that the new one?
Oh yeah, that's definitely not the old
is.
one. I mean,
It is. Oh, 2-seater. Woo!
Look at that. 2 seats by default.
does it work?
Dang.
I don't know, but
Holy cow.
It will work.
it will work.
It's almost kind of intimidating. Look at that bad boy.
Just a little
So
bit.
much
Look at that front.
It's like
Nice.
World War
That's some
World War
Jetsons.
II nose of an old plane they cut off.
Take that, Fallout. I love Fallout, by the way. You know.
Yeah, we're big fans of Fallout, obviously.
Okay, here let's. Should I even try to fly it?
Well, if
hey,
it doesn't work,
does it work?
it will work. It will work by the time experimental ships. It's one of the last ones he's worked on. It's spawnable.
They work. The question is, can Lathan fly it?
Oh well, of course I can fly it, even though I haven't flown one in, 6 months. But no, I can fly pretty much anything.
No, I think.
Oh, look at that! Woo!
You're full of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's gonna crash. What could go wrong?
Calm down. We're gonna make it.
Bam!
We're
What
gonna
could
make
go
it.
wrong?
Look,
You
I
can't
wanted to go
fly.
this way.
I'm not
You
playing
can't
co-op.
even-
I'm not
Listen.
getting in with him on that.
Listen, I just
it's-
wanted to go east.
Hell no.
That was the quickest way to turn the thing around.
Mhm.
So look, we're going the right way now.
All right.
Don't you worry
so
about it. Look at us go,
Boy.
everybody.
You can
Smooth flight.
roast me about my gameplay skills, but I don't know if I'm not
I
playing
mean, I
with him on
can.
that.
What happens if you press E?
Oh, I know what E does.
Let's
I know exactly
just
what
try.
that does.
Just wait. Get as high as you can and do it.
Come on, let's do it.
What? So you can see me die? What?
Get out of the chopper.
Look,
Get out of the chopper.
I know that you all don't ever see me die in this game, and so this is the only way you can see it. So that's fine. I can do it if you want. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. We can do it. You know what? Here, we're doing it.
Oh.
Oh, he's out of there.
God mode. Oh, underwhelming. Lands like a
Where's
marshmallow.
your old ship drops? Oh, okay.
And the chopper lands right by him. Come on, get back in. No damage at all.
It's dog meat following him around.
Oh man.
We have followers now.
That was
Helicopter.
awesome.
Jez Taiki.
So we have a
Anyway.
Welcome
we
to
have
my
a mini.
channel.
We showed off mini bike. We didn't show the motorcycle. And Joel hasn't seen it yet. It's
You
badass.
haven't even seen it? Man.
It's-
Well,
Hey,
we had to start a
leave me
new build,
alone.
right? I had one, but it was the old one. But they just now got the new one.
Stop it.
yeah.
It's literally
Wait,
only been
that's
in
not
a
gonna
few
work.
days.
Oh, I
so
need gas.
I'm not gonna.
Hey,
I'm not.
let me
I'm not
get
gonna
some
fit
gas.
it in.
It's pretty bad. I mean, badass. I'd like
yeah.
makes you kind of want to like
Oop, wrong
get a
button.
leather. Go drink some beer and be a Hell's Angel.
Wait, hold on. Oh, let
Pretty,
me just...
it's pretty cool.
Okay, never mind. You're interrupting. Okay. Let's see.
Gas.
Yeah, it was locking up for a second. Okay.
There we go.
We're just gonna leave the gyrocopter there.
Wasteland badass. Look at that.
Put the
Yeah.
mods on it. It's got like a cool bug shield, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got
Remember,
some,
right,
it's
the
got some,
concept?
it's got some nice mods. Yeah.
Okay, let me get to the
It's
street
like,
right
it's like
here.
a doesn't have like a spike
Oh yeah, it has a spike front too.
front
That's right.
front piece
Okay.
that protects the bike from damage a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean
That's what it looks like, everybody. And then here, I'll put on a couple mods.
Diet black or something. I think the black looks cooler than the white. but
Oops.
that's
We-
just me.
until we like
Mods.
until we type up the release notes and kind of like really kind of step back and say, look at all this stuff we've done for a build. We often think, what did we get done? And then when we look at the release notes, it's like it's daunting to see what we've
Yeah,
done.
holy crap! How'd we do all that?
Okay, so a little bit of armor on there.
Nice.
So that's where that goes.
Give that-
Yeah, look at that.
Extra chair.
Get that thing at tent too,
Okay. Oops.
or you know,
Nice.
install
Tint
some
it a
more
little
mods.
bit, and we'll
It looks so much better modded out, fully modded.
supercharger.
Uh,
I didn't see where that went, but okay.
It puts a little piece on the engine, if I remember right.
Yep.
It shows
Oh.
something pretty sweet. And then headlight, maybe.
Yeah, the light I didn't. Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, okay.
light in a tent.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
You even got Manny on there.
What
Yeah.
color you guys want?
Oh, we're getting ready to
Got-
ditch it anyway.
Can we see
Wait.
what red looks? Let's see what red looks like.
Yeah.
Man, that looks so bad. Ass.
Oh. Nice.
For the kids shit, so.
Yeah. Looks really good. Looks
Damn
really
the
good.
eyeball.
Who's gonna mess with you when you're on one of those?
That looks amazing.
Alright,
Especially
let's try to
if
rest
it
it.
looks like Manny.
Exactly.
Wait, you're gonna blow it
yeah,
up?
Now he's gonna blow it up. Oh my gosh. No,
Anyway,
it's fine.
it's fine.
It took a rocket up the tailpipe and it's doing good.
Even the. Oh, look at that explosion! That's awesome. Even the bicycle got an overhaul.
Yep, it did.
Wait, can you ride the two on the bicycle?
No,
Ah,
I've had enough of the bicycle.
Okay.
I've had
Anyway,
enough.
I don't even want to look at that thing. I was so tired of pedaling it. We finally got the mini bike
Ooh,
like
you're welcome.
yesterday at the end of the day. And it's like, oh, thank God.
Ready.
so
Yeah,
is there
yes,
something
Karen.
else that we want to show?
Let's see. You know, if you wanted
Alright.
to show the dew collector in person, I don't know if that seemed to be something people.
You can
Yeah.
show them the mods so they get the
Oh, I
idea of
don't have
the flow.
okay.
I mean,
I'm
that's,
going.
that's fine.
So you start
I
out
have to
and it's
do.
crafted with primitive materials. I believe
Of
like,
course.
what, about 4 pipes.
There would be no other way.
Some plastic and one other thing, duct tape.
Oh, cool.
Using
This
for
is a
duct tape,
nice
maybe. And
sniper.
you can start making the murky water right away then. So open that up,
Yep.
Nathan, real quick.
So there's murky water being
Boom.
made.
So you're making murky water, and then you can get these other mods at the trader, and they're not cheap, but they really improve, you know. So go ahead and click on the mods and put one in. We can talk about each one.
Okay.
So the filter, you can put the filter in first.
Oh look.
The filter's obvious, but you used to need that to craft it. No longer. You can craft it just from basic materials. You can get water on day one, but it's brown and you don't have to boil it in your cooking pot if you have one. And so you get the filter in, and it starts making clean water, and then you can put the gatherer in
Okay. Gather.
or the tarp, whatever you want, Lathan.
Increases the rate of dew collection.
So that one speeds it up significantly, and then the tarp. Or no, maybe that one allows you to hold. I think he's got the wrong description.
Okay, no. The tarp is the one that allows you to hold, so it'll generate more than one at a time, right?
That makes sense to me because
Yeah.
if a bigger tarp, it would be a bigger, like kind of like a reservoir.
Well, anyway, one of them will stack 2 of them in there per slot, so it'll hold 6. It'll collect up to 6 waters. The other one increases how fast it collects, and the purifier makes it clean water.
So you can have early game water that you have to boil still easier, and the output of this thing increases, so you can craft it sooner, and you don't have to have like late game. You don't have to have like 3 or 4 of them. Maybe you can get by with 1 or 2.
It depends. You know, if you're in a team and you're doing some dedicated crafting, and we had up to 6 of them running, and it was, you know, finally maybe we have enough water kind of thing. I mean, it's a lot, but there's a lot more demands to crafting now than the earlier alphas. So I would say, you know, one guy could probably get by with 3 just fine if you're not too ambitious. You know, it depends how much looting and trading you do. Like if you perk into trading, you can buy a lot more stuff, and you know, you can just go buy all the water you want almost. I mean, to a degree. So it just depends on your play style, but I tended to have about 3 solo and 6 in a co-op game where we were partnered up.
Cool. So, there's something else.
So,
a lot of people have been asking for the
Olivia is
bicycle.
lonely.
Since we showed
Welcome to
all
my
the other
channel.
ones.
Yeah, that's fine. We got time.
Yeah, it's cool. Joel's tired of it, but it's still it's a cool looking bike. It's a better looking bike.
Well, as long as I don't have to ride it anywhere, I'm good. No, actually, you know, the bicycle's a godsend
Oh, we know.
from walking, you know, but it's just like you just, you know, you want your progression, and
shit.
obviously, so getting that first motorized vehicle
I
is
get
like
that.
Tear that ass
a
up.
huge feather in your cap. But yeah, this looks amazing. I love, you know, they did a great job on it. It's just, everything's really leveled up. The vehicles represent.
Yeah, this
how
should
leveled up the
definitely
entire
give me
game
nice
is now, in
fucking
my
sniper
opinion.
kills.
There's a lot of little stuff going on.
I wonder if I could check it.
Optimizations and
Quick
progression.
scope, no.
There is a
traders,
way
No.
to
POIs,
track your
you know,
challenges.
There's just so much, but it all kind of feels like
Recommended.
a bicycle. Character system, everything looks
Why
so
does it say
good.
I only got 5?
The experience has never been so good. I mean, I'm on my third long playthrough and not even beginning to get bored. It's just fun every day.
It is. Definitely. So we're super excited about bringing all this to you guys through experimental, stable 1, and consoles, and having parity with those two, with consoles and PC. You know,
That'll be a first time they've ever had the exact, you know, pretty much exact same.
truly, because originally we diverged code bases with the original console version of the game, which was not
They had to nerf and cut a lot of things to get it to run on the old consoles too. So
Yeah, they did.
yeah, so this is the first time it's, you know, I believe maybe not in 1.0, but is it not true, Rick, that in a future patch they'll be able to both play on the same server?
Oh, well, it already works. Crossplay works. We've been approved for it. How it will eventually ship based on certification with both Microsoft and Sony is another matter. You know, what loops what hoops we have to jump through to pass the certification there. You know, like
And that might be a way to get client-side mods onto a console too, if you connect it to a modded PC server. Possibly, no guarantees there, but
it's a good hurdle, just like crossplay is in the first place. It's another level of hurdle beyond just getting it going, where you've got crossplay working, and so that we can bring the dedicated persistent server to the console players, so that they can experience like, oh, what's it like to play with 8, 12, 16 players on a persistent server, jump on every night and have that kind of experience that the PC guys have had, and really one of the bread and butter strengths of 7 Days. As far as it's a great co-op game or a single player game anyway, but a lot of the community enjoys that sort of online experience with either people
yeah,
they
don't worry
know,
about me, I'll
or
crawl out.
curated experience with their friends, whether you're admin the server.
Oh, there's a
themselves.
dog, never mind.
So we're excited to bring that later this year to everybody.
I'm good,
Exactly
I'm
how
good.
it looks, we don't know yet, but we're doing our best
Just
to
gotta
bring
jump,
that to
get
everybody.
away. There we go.
But we didn't
Who
want to
is
let that
shooting
feature
you? Get
stop
out
us
of
from
here.
bringing a 1.0 that
Where is
allowed
it?
you to play
Oh, I
on
see you.
consoles with 4-player local networking. And all the features you see, the same as 7 Days PC.
Actually, something else we should point out, because, you know, I know a lot of people in here are streamers.
Yes, sir.
7 Days on console will be the first game with native Twitch integration built in. So
It's true. We're the first game on the planet that will have Twitch integration on PlayStation and Xbox.
you'll be able to do it directly from the PlayStation and the Xbox. You will not have to do anything special. Just there's a device code flow and it just works. We've tested it multiple times. So for those of you streamers out there,
we didn't talk about that. So that is shipping in this version. So if you are a streamer that streams on a PlayStation 5 or Xbox X or S series hardware, you can turn on Twitch integration and stream live to your Twitch audience and have them participate in your game. What's the URL to talk about Twitch? What features? It's What's the pay webpage?
7daysdie.com/Twitch. But I don't think we've updated it with anything talking about that specific. We need
What
to
exactly?
release.
But there's a lot of stuff you can do there. You can, your audience can join on PC or mobile devices, iPads, etc., and with an interface and interact with the streamer that you're watching, and you can spawn zombies. You can help them. You can put obstacles into the game. It's basically kind of like a live game show, if you will. And it's pretty cool.
And I do want to point out, I know that whoa, what? Desktop just popped up out of nowhere. I do want to point out the lion on my screen. No, but what I was going to say was, yeah,
That was a
for some
cool
reason I did that. Yeah, I'm trying to scare everybody. Stop lying. Anyway, sorry, I got derailed. What I was going to say was, you know, I know I fooled a lot of people with it, but there was a stream that we did where we actually were playing from the PlayStation and testing the Twitch integration. So we know it works because we did it here on the stream. I know everybody was very fooled. Everybody knew nothing. They thought it was legit, but you know, it was the console. It's crazy, everybody. So smoke and mirrors. I know.
Secret.
Yeah.
So we got about 13 minutes left, and if there was a question or two that we could field, or if we wanted to show something else like player crates or something again, some of you guys have seen it, some of you maybe haven't. We could do something like that, or show the Demolisher, or alt skin zombies. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, we kind of showed all those things.
So if there's any questions,
we could do a little bit of questions, I would say, if you guys want. We could do a short amount of Q&A, possibly. It is kind of hard because once everybody starts like, you know, questions, it's hard for us to read them. And we're not going to do it for very long, just a little bit. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, do you guys want to just start grabbing questions and answering them?
I'll see if I can freeze frame this a little bit and see any.
Currently, you cannot dye the outfits, but that could come in a future release.
Are the color variants of zombies stronger than others? No, currently they're purely cosmetic alterations. I like how you're thinking there. That I thought the same thing. Is, you know, if we could do some alt skin ones that if the skin could communicate to the player that that's a stronger zombie, that I like that as a design philosophy.
We talked about doing red radiated at one time.
Yeah, no, that would be kind of. We are thinking about adding another level of radiation so you'd have like green and then red to add additional game stages to the game for late game challenges.
Any chance for pets? I mean, we did crack a joke a minute ago about that, but I don't think so.
Out of all the new POIs, it's hard to put a favorite on the POIs. You know, I'm seeing
maybe a skin for the bot.
Yeah.
The junk drone could possibly have a pet-looking skin, like a floating tiger, you know, kitty or dog. But seriously, we don't have any plans for that. But you never know.
Weather system is coming into our planned update 1. We're calling it tentatively planned for Q4 this year. And we're talking about a weather gating, weather survival system that, you know, environmental survival, if you will, with that. All the details will come.
There will not be split screen on the consoles. I thought most of the time I answer people, I'm just telling them, no, you're not getting that. No. I need to be nicer about this.
It was Wrecked is based on. So originally, Trader Wreck was this grumpy boss guy that Joel had, and I wrote the first VO for him, and that was kind of based on kind of like, it was like, what character is he? He's always grumpy, Sparky, and Joel has augmented him times 10 with this VO drop.
Right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Sparky. He died a long time ago.
So yeah, so PS5, you know, some interesting things about the controller support. Tom, who is tearing it up on in Australia, there has done a lot of improvements to gamepad support for this new version. You can control X, Y, inertia. There's a little bit of a primitive aim assist when it comes to helping you like focus on certain things in the game. Just a lot of improvements how vehicles work. Just the general UI in itself. So there's are there very many screens that actually have what you call a cursor mouse anymore, Lathan? Haven't we almost got rid of almost all those? So there's kind of focus there.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
they all have focus screens now. So, yep.
There's no, for the most part, there is no free mouse when you're using the console controller. You know, when you're using a gamepad. It will snap around and do all sorts of nice things.
It's all left thumbstick D-pad doing a lot of those operations into a focus screens and nice wet conditional prompts displayed where you need to. It's slicker than the original port was in that sense by a long shot. So a lot of work's been done on that to make it more user friendly. It plays good. Mod support is still as strong as it's ever been. We did not restrict any operations that would would inhibit mods. So we've kept, you know, that
sounds weird.
We like the games modded. We like that you guys mod the game. And we're looking forward to playing some of the future mods of this game.
And keep in mind, a lot of the times whenever we add new systems, we try to make sure that everything we add is, you know, pretty moddable. Like the challenge system is a good example. I mean, that's set up through XML. I've made it where, yeah, modders can add whatever they want to that, make all new tabs and do crazy whatever's with it.
Somebody asked about the challenge system. Do you want to talk about any of the later challenges besides the basic tutorial and homesteading or survival and some of that stuff, Lathan?
Yeah. Just look at it for a second. I mean, I'm still in game. I'm just floating in the air.
Yeah, go ahead and load that up.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Any chance pre-orders? We're not going to do pre-orders, but we are working on getting the games live to look at and wish list on both those formats. You know, will it be on Game Pass? No, it's not on Game Pass. We passed on Game Pass for renewal. You know, it could come back to Game Pass. Microsoft is, and we're still discussing going on the Game Pass potentially next year.
Okay, so here, I'm going to show this real fast, but I mean, this is the challenge system. You know, we've talked about it. Different things that you could do. Most of the first page is like teaching. It replaces the journal system. So the first row, you watched me do it. I did it super fast. You can find the trader. But everything on here is kind of different steps that would teach you how to do certain things. Killing animals, all sorts of stuff. The second page are more the long-term kind of, you know, achievement hunter type things, where it's, you know, cure 25 broken legs, or survive a certain amount of time, or complete 10 blood moons, things like that. Kill a certain amount of animals.
The cool thing about it is that if you've accomplished the feat already, whether you've like killed a number of animals, it gives you credit for it, even if you're not tracking it. You don't have to redo it over, like if you guys have played maybe Conan Exiles or something where it doesn't do that.
Yeah, that irritated me in that game.
Yeah.
Not to talk bad about their game, everybody. We like Conan Exiles, but
yeah, Conan is. Yeah. I played a lot of it.
So yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So as far as discounts, we're still navigating discounts. We think it looks like we have a path with some discounts for people that owned the digital version. It's more complicated on the with the retail side, just because of the way their back end works. So stay tuned, more to come on that.
Coffee shop soon? Isn't there like 20 coffee shops in the game?
There's a lot of
How could you not have found a coffee shop?
There's a few of them, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the Zip. There's actually a coffee franchise in the game called Zip Coffee.
Will achievements be reset on 1.0? I think that there's a few new achievements or refactored achievements. But we have to get approval to make those changes. There were some changes that just fundamentally changed, not too many, but have you considered adding? So we considered adding any high-quality community page. We've considered that idea, but I think that would be better paired with sort of some kind of creators workshop-y thing where you can load it in. We want to be able to do POI packs that can be loaded in and into a random world and say, hey, force this to load, force this to spawn, and you can load up additional POIs that are either free POI packs or potentially, you know, stuff that is not free post gold. Will game come out on Nintendo Switch? It is possible to be on Switch, but it's gonna have to. It's likely it would have to be their cloud version of Switch. You know, like Hitman was released cloud only. A game could run on Switch in a cloud. Although there's a Switch 2 coming out, rumored, I've read about that has a lot more horsepower. Maybe it's more like the Xbox S series, hopefully.
Is there a new Direwolf? Yes, we have it. I don't know if it's going to be out in 1.0, but in a future patch for sure. It looks amazing. Very scary.
Yeah, Direwolf is awesome. I can't wait till he's in. He's really more like a zombie wolf. I mean, if you look at him, he's decayed,
yeah, and he's definitely undead.
How will crossplay work? Well, right now it actually does work already, where you could join to a PC or console or dedicated server, and even between them. But we don't have the absolute authority to release that yet. So that's why we're working on that for a holiday patch. And there's a lot of legal things that have to happen, you know, for that digital handshake in that curated environment to join the Wild West of PC.
Will there be tools for the other workstations? I've designed them on paper, but they're not coming in this build. Maybe in a future update.
What is the plan for concerning improving animation and sounds? Well, the plan is that almost every third-person and first-person animation in the game has been redone for this alpha with the new character system. The animations look amazing. And the first-person hands, you see your gloves, you see your hands. They look amazing. Sound effects, we have another sound engineer that's joined the team, and he's continuing to improve the sounds where we think they need it.
Will Steam Deck support be added? I thought it already plays on Steam Deck just fine. I was playing on the Steam Deck.
We're one of the top played, top verified games on Steam Deck already.
Yeah.
Yep. We got the green check mark for Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Compliance. I'm trying to find some more questions. So when we release 1.0, so this is the tentative schedule, subject to some game-breaking bug preventing us from June 21st, Friday, June 21st. We're tentatively planning for Streamer Weekend to happen. Monday, June 24th, we're planning on a public experimental. We're going to work on that public experimental, and right now the target date for stable, and we're hoping to do a simultaneous release for console 2, would be Thursday, July 25th, giving us about 4.5 weeks to fix bad bugs and pass certification. So cross our fingers. Our team is working overtime to deliver this.
We're asking about third person in dev mode. No, we're not going to support it yet. We'd like to. We want to kind of get a professional done camera system so you can run around in third person, but that's not coming just yet. So, but it's something we'd really like to do.
Well, 7 days becoming Game Pass. It was on Game Pass 2 years. It expired April 26th of this year. We've been talking with them. We could bring it back to Game Pass next year. So
I would just buy it now, but while the price is still less.
That's true. So with 1.0, that while it's experimental, while it's not officially 1.0, on PC the price is still early access price. As Joel mentioned, we're raising the price to $44.99 because it's a desert island game that you can play for 100 hours. We've got 12 years of development for our size team. We're close to 60 with an external team in Australia of 10 working on it with us. So we're like really 70 people, and we've put blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of effort in this game, and we're still updating it. So we think it's better than a $59.99 game that you play for 5 hours and put away. You know, I've done that many times. And
Nisam menjao nego je bio, to ne ima problema.
$60 game.
Ideš na, ne mogu da ne si probao na drugi access point.
Starfield.
I? Ne znaš lozinka što
Well, that was really loud. Sorry, everybody.
S.W.Frost.
I've got 20 hours in it and I gave up on it. I've never done that on a Bethesda game, so I paid $69 or whatever it was to play it early even.
Yeah, it was like $110, but you know.
Oh. Ouch. So yeah, no, we've all done that, but we think it has the value. What is FPS for console? It runs pretty darn good on console, and we're not gimping the graphics. It has full texture quality.
Yeah.
And draw distance. Will they be dedicated food models? Yeah, the guys are working on some of that kind of stuff. I think that'll come in a patch. There's been some work done on that.
No, there will not be another sale before we go 1.0.
The sale is
we
that
said
it's
it over and over and over and over again.
The sale is that's $24.99 on PC.
A sale is a sale,
Yeah.
even to a scumbag like you.
I mean, we announced it like daily that it was a last chance sale, guys.
There you go, Wrecked. There's Wrecked. Channeling his official Wrecked there.
Hey, you actually wrote that line. It was a good one.
Even do a scumbag like you.
Yeah, everybody, go ahead. Sorry.
Wigs for the new console version. Well, hairstyles. There's, I don't know, what is there, 20 hairstyles or something like that?
Quite a few. I haven't done an inventory on it, but yeah, there's plenty of hairstyles.
Will there be a sale for the console? So we're working on getting a discount for people who own the console versions and navigating with both Sony and Microsoft on what we can and cannot do. It's been tricky, it's been complex, we still don't know how it's going to land. Right now it looks like we'll be able to do a discount for digital owners on those. That's the word. We were hoping for more. Well, they're Hail Mary chance for people who had physical copies to get a discount, but we it's part of just the way the back end works, and the fact that Telltale Games published the first version of it, and we're a different publisher. Let's see what else.
Well, previous worlds that we started work when 1. So even if it did work, you would miss out on all the new stuff that was added. There's new progression. I mean,
they never work. I don't know what you're talking about. They never ever work.
No, I mean they don't. But I mean, even if you could kind of get it to work, you'd miss out on
Don't encourage.
No. I'm saying don't. There's no reason.
You're gonna want the new progression and everything, and it would be buggy. There's a million items deleted. It would be null rev city, I'm sure.
The old betas still should be available. I don't think that's anything we plan on removing.
Well, for Steam, not
for
Microsoft PC or console, as long as Steam allows us a certain amount of hard drive space or cloud space, if you will, for depots, and the number of depots they support will leave that. So if you have a desire to play, has nostalgia, and you want to go play Alpha 16 or something, yeah, go for it. Can we see a dog do a trick for treats? My dog would do that. I don't know if Lathan's taught his dog anything yet.
My dog, man, he doesn't even like being in front of the camera. He was all like, leave me alone and let me go back to sleep. He wanted to have nothing to do with this. He never does.
Can Jan have her lab coat back?
No. And you're not getting kickstands for bikes, so not happening.
Good. Joel can be the one who's, being the no person. No, you're not getting that or that.
I'm gonna put on my Trader Rect hat. Let him have it.
All right. So, radiation. So, we have a plan for. So the world biome border has actually changed. Sean has put some work into there too. It gives you some kind of padding, gives you a fair warning. It gives you better direction as to like which way is the safe way to go. It's a better system than it used to be. And that said, in our roadmap update, we're planning on a weather survival / environmental survival. And so eventually the weather survival in the Raceland will be radiation survival or a radiation effect. Environmental hazard, if you will. It's the same as weather, as far as we're concerned. We think it's cool. But exactly how
we'll talk more about that in the dev stream for the next roads.
Yeah, how it looks, we're still doing internal baiting.
Same thing with the question about the story. We're going to talk about that in the release the dev stream that goes along with that one. I'm not going to...
We're making some great progress on the story, though.
We are.
Bold and
but it's not the time for it, everybody. Next dev stream is next Friday. I think we're just gonna be playing next Friday.
Yep. Yeah. Unless there's something else to show, I think we're gonna do a hands-on cooperative play. So anyway.
Yeah, I think we can probably.
I think we're pretty close to being done here. We've answered a few questions, and we're super excited. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing more on Twitter. We'll be on our social media, locking down experimental and releasing news going forward.
Okay, well then, why don't we? Let me look. Let's see who. Okay, so everybody, so that's it. Really appreciate everybody being here. I think we're just gonna find someone to raid out. That, like we said, next Friday.
Veal Mercy.
Next stream.
Welcome to my channel.
It was fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Please stick around for just a minute. And let's see if we can find someone. Let me look for someone who's playing 7 days right now. Just give me just a moment. Y'all can tell them a fun story about something or other.
Oh, one last question. Yeah. So the console editions are going to be called 7 Days to Die - console edition, and we're going to delist the legacy version, so to avoid confusion. So before launch, those things will happen. You'll see it on the store. You'll be able to wishlist it. All in the works.
Here, let's find. Okay, I got someone. Everybody. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
See you next Friday.
Yeah. So we will see you all later. Bye, everybody.
See you then.
Oh, that's right. You know, I keep forgetting, by the way, we need an ending screen for this, because this moment, while we're waiting on the raid to happen, is very awkward. Anyway, now we're good. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Damn.
Extract point marked.
I'm gonna steal this. Take care. That's fine.
Final approach to exfil site.
A silver pocket watch flashes from your coat pocket. Your finger deftly unlocks it. The time, shortly after 2 a.m. The waning morning is quiet. The cobbled streets of Whitechapel stretch ahead with the overbearing buildings illuminated only by candlelight. Nary a soul walks the streets. The only others, drunkards and women of the night. You walk behind the latter right now. A woman beaten down by the oppressive attitude of a society determined to ignore what happens on the streets. She leads you away from the main road and down an alley. She looks behind herself, flashing a smile in your direction. "You've got a nice long hair, ain't ya?" she comments. "And what a mighty fine beard." You flash your pearly white teeth in the charismatic way you're known to do. A charming smile that would make any woman swoon. You both reach a dead end to the labyrinthian alleyway and, well, what ensues after is far too improper to recount. As you depart the scene of extremely erotic lovemaking, you look back at the woman and reply calmly, "That's about it, see ya. You are Charlie White, somehow sent back in time to Victorian-era London, and this is the red thread." You weren't expecting that, were you? That's what you get for not showing up to a recording, Charlie. You get put into the Jack the Ripper's role.
Did you wait? Hold on. Did Charlie murder the woman?
No. I wouldn't go that far. I didn't want to go that far.
He just had a quick 30 seconds.
Yeah, he had, you know, he made love, let's say, with this. He went back in time to make love with this woman.
The idea of him in Victoria era England. That's about it. See ya. Oh,
I should have got you to do the voice. I cannot voice act for the life. I can't like do voices.
Well, I can't
do
either, but
voices.
Charlie's pretty easy. Because he normally
Yeah.
talks at like a normal cadence like this, and then his voice kind of like it's
Just
like
drops
that
down
a little bit. Yeah, but that's about it. C is easy because he does it in the same he does it at the same time every bit. Have you seen the videos where they'll take like 100 of his videos and play the outro all at the same time?
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of
It's
people
always
talking.
the exact
Yeah.
same.
That's
Yeah,
about it.
it's
See ya.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, as the beginning story might have alluded to, Charlie is not here this week. He's busy on a time traveling journey back to Victoria era London.
Of course.
He may as well be because he's not here. He's busy.
I
at
did
the
think it
moment.
was
He's got stuff on.
suspicious. So you were like, "Hey guys, good for an episode Tuesday. We're talking about Jack the Ripper," and he was like, I'll be gone." Yeah.
Yeah, very suspicious. Very suspicious man that Charlie is. Definitely makes me doubt doubt how well perceived he is by the internet, because he's clearly up to no good. He's out there having sex with hookers and potentially killing them.
Let's just defame him
my
while
essence.
he's not here. Let's just beat up our friend. That's a great idea.
This is all jokes, by the way, Charlie. You can't sue me. It's parody or satire or some.
Now that would be a
kind of
crazy
defense.
episode. You two are in a lawsuit, and I'm here like, today we're gonna look at the Charlie Jackson lawsuit.
Yeah, it's just you. Yeah,
It's
like
just me,
it'll just be you on the red thread from then, and you just gotta like determine which of us is guilty.
Yep, and it's both of you are in the call, but I access your microphones. So your 1 minute's up, Charlie. Let's hear from you.
We're talking this week about Jack the Ripper. I don't think anyone in the audience has requested this one, but I felt like doing it because it's such a big kind of, story, obviously. This dude, Jack the Ripper, is kind of like the grandfather of serial killers. I don't think serial killers existed before Jack the Ripper. There was no such thing as murder before him. He kind of invented
Correct.
it.
Really a visionary, if you think about it.
Well ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And everyone knows this, everyone knows of Jack the Ripper, but do you know what really happened? Do you actually know the chronological history of Jack the Ripper? Because that's what we're going to be diving in today, as well as some of the more popular theories about who the identity of Jack the Ripper is. Believe it or not, his name was not Jack. That was a nickname given to him by the police. There is more kind of theories about who he is, but I mean, it's been 140 years since Jack the Ripper, so I don't think there's ever going to be a definitive answer as to it. All theories. Yeah, how aware of Jack? I mean, you've got to be deep into the trenches of Jack the Ripper lore.
I feel like I'm pretty well informed. I know all the stuff about the murders and the theories and whatnot. I think I remember all of the suspects of who it might be. Jack the Ripper's interesting because, like you said, he was the first one. I mean, he wasn't the first person to kill multiple people, but he was the first one to kind of gain notoriety as like an elusive figure who committed murder, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like he grew alongside the rapid industrialization of the Western world, basically.
Yeah.
So because everyone was so condensed in a tight space and growing quickly together, then like his notoriety is kind of like tied to that. He was the first one.
But before that, early 1800s, 1700s, if you killed a lot of people, you were just kind of, a weird guy.
Yeah.
A bit strange.
Yeah, an oddity for sure, but like not the boogeyman that Jack the Ripper was, really.
Yeah. He kind of, like you said, he's the first serial killer in the way we think of the term
Welcome
today.
to my channel.
But yeah, I'm familiar with the case.
Hello.
It's an interesting one.
Hello,
I have
and
some
thank you.
theories about what I think he was. That I'll talk about at the end.
Like,
Yeah, that's where this is going, Jackson. I'm gonna make this into. It's like actually the church. No, like why he committed the murders, like what group, stuff like that.
oh,
There's a lot
okay,
of
his
theories
motives.
around
You know
that.
his motives, huh?
I know theories around his motives. That's why he might have done.
Let's be definitive here. You know his motives. We've
I know
gone
his
to the
motives,
bottom
yeah,
of it.
because I myself know Charlie White, and he is like, you get that guy going a little after midnight, and he's talking about all these regrets and the bodies and what what the blood smelled like, stuff like that. He's a really troubled guy, but I think I could piece together why he did it.
Yeah, the audience should be prepared for about 2.5 hours of defaming Charlie as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, but he's not here. What's he gonna do? Show up?
Yeah.
He's not even in this Discord call. Jackson called me one-on-one.
Yeah.
He can't get in here. He's like
Can't
beating
even
on
hear
the
it.
glass right now. But no, we're gonna call him a serial killer. 'Cause that's what friends do. Just so a subreddit can later make a whole thread about how we hate each other.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that. Just so I can comment, yeah, I hate Charlie on it.
Yeah.
I'll really feed into it.
Absolutely.
All right, so before we continue about Jack the Ripper, though, don't want to take too long on this preamble because it's already a pretty stacked episode in terms of what we've got in the document. But we do have show notes with sources, so if you want to learn more about Jack the Ripper, there's a link to the document below that goes over everything we talk about during the episode, along with sources and pictures and stuff like that. I didn't include, because there are pictures, I think there are actual pictures of the crime scenes, or some of the bodies at least. I'm not sure how they did that in the 1880s. Like, how old are cameras? I don't know how old cameras are.
You could take photos back then. You had to do the whole like flash pan thing, remember?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was like early 1900s or if it did extend into
No, you can take pictures back. There's pictures of the Civil War, of like battlefields and stuff. Yeah, you can get pictures of it.
I'm foggy on the chronological history of cameras.
I think if I had to guess, it was like first cameras probably came around like 1830s, probably. And it's like you have to go inside the little booth, and it makes a giant flash, and then that basically imprints the image over the lens, like burns it into the photo effectively.
Actually, I absolutely should have known this. I should have known this because you've got cameras in Red Dead Redemption 2, and that takes place in the early 1800s. So,
yep.
I mean, I'm an idiot. But yeah, show notes, show documents.
In your defense, you are Australian.
Yeah, cameras still don't exist here. No, show notes down below. You can go find the link below and read along with the sources and stuff like that. There's also links to our show on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, and we really do appreciate comments and subscribing and rating us on those platforms. So if you could, that'd be great. But yeah, you can listen to the red thread however you want to, wherever you want to. And also, this episode is kindly brought to you by the lovely MeUndies. I personally would never be caught dead in, Victorian era London without wearing my incredible pair of MeUndies, so I highly suggest you go check them out. More from them later on. But that's all the show notes from me for this episode, and we're going to get right into discussing Jack the Ripper.
Also, I will say, just for the sake of history, the first camera was invented in 1816.
Yeah, you were right. You said around that.
Was cool. I just wanted to prove that I was right. And the oldest existing photographs from 1826. So, I just want to sound cool. Now, Jack the Ripper.
Wait. How was the camera made in 1816, but then the first photograph was in...
Extant. Like, we still have it.
Oh, right. Wow, so there's 10 years of photos that just vanished?
Well, keep in mind, it was like a chemical process in 1816. Like, you basically had, like, chlorine and then, like, this piece of film that, like, it was burned onto. They probably deteriorated, yeah.
Okay, so to start off, let's give a brief synopsis of Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is one of history's most infamous serial killers whose gruesome murders in the Whitechapel district of London during the autumn of 1888 shocked the world. He targeted female sex workers, and he would perform horrific mutilations on the victims, as we're going to go into, suggesting an advanced level of anatomical knowledge and a deep-seated hatred for women. I think that much is obvious. You don't go around killing a bunch of women without deeply hating them.
I don't know. Let's hear him out.
Yeah. No, I don't want to hear Jack the Ripper out. He's probably.
Did anyone ask why he might have done it?
I don't want to know why. Despite extensive investigations and widespread public fear, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains unknown. But that's not entirely true. I mean, we just talked about how it's Charlie, so.
Yeah,
I mean, a bit of an error with the document.
We know now, but at the time, I get it.
Yeah, they didn't even know who Charlie was back then. Shrouded in mystery and subject to endless speculation and theories, that kind of capstones what the whole Jack the Ripper situation was. Just a lot of theorizing over the last century. The case has captivated historians, criminologists, and the general public for over a century, making Jack the Ripper an icon of criminal law and a symbol of Victorian London's underbelly. They are and I am using they there because there is a theory going around that Jack the Ripper is actually Jill the Ripper and a woman. So I'm going to use they. They are, for all intents and purposes, a time capsule of what serial killers were once like before the modern era that brought with it new investigative breakthroughs. So, it's true that there's like a bunch of serial killers operating in America at any given time in the modern era, right? They still do exist.
Yeah, for sure. The issue is there's not I think people, okay. So there are definitely people out there who have killed multiple people, hiding them and stuff like that, right? I don't see an abundance of people who want people to know that they're killing a bunch of people, right? You know what I mean? Like Jack the Ripper may not be a good example, but take for example like a Son of Sam thing or Richard Ramirez, right? The idea of like they kind of live off of the infamy, yeah, the notoriety they're gaining. I don't see that as much. What I do see is those people who want notoriety and infamy. Nowadays, spree killing is much more popular.
Right.
I say popular like it's a trend. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah, I know what you mean.
It seems if someone wants to become infamous in the eyes of the law really quick, rather than doing a series of murders, they'll go on one rampage.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That seems to be way more common. And I think it's that same mindset put back, like, you know, decades prior that created a lot of serial killers. So we still have the same kind of evil. It just looks a bit different, I feel.
Yeah, the aspect, the form has changed, basically.
I think it's because, well, I mean, think about it this way, right? If what these people want, and there's exceptions, like, I don't think, there's obviously some level of personal, either, you know, sexual interest or need for violence or whatever. But in some cases, like Jeffrey Dahmer, I think he was just, like, evil, you know, and, like, he was trying to make zombie people and he would eat them and stuff like that. He wasn't necessarily looking for infamy, but a lot of these guys were. So...
yeah, it depends on motive.
Yeah, it depends on motive. And after Columbine, I mean, look at how much attention that garnered. So if you want to get really infamous really quickly, you do something like that.
Yeah, with the with the proliferation of media and stuff, the notoriety goal. If you had the notoriety goal, then obviously, you know, you had to up the spectacle to some degree if you wanted to capture headlines.
Because I mean, honestly, nowadays, if there was a headline that was like, "Oh, this guy killed 4 people," we'd probably brush past it. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what happened.
Serial killers probably do exist in America, still somewhat prevalent in a prevalent capacity, but I also think, obviously, with the way technology now works and surveillance, it is getting a lot. Obviously, it's obviously getting a lot harder for them to keep killing over an extended amount of time without being caught. And so I think we don't see those kind of long form serial killers to this day. And I think there's also an effort, probably on the police part, to not sensationalize them as well, maybe, out of fear of, you know, encouraging
Which is a good idea, I think. You even see that right now more so with spree killing, I think. Like, sure, the internet still does it, but like, compare like I mentioned earlier, Columbine or something like that, how much this guy's the faces were thrown around and they were talked about and analyzed, versus nowadays where it's kind of like, yeah, someone did this, let's talk about the victims, you know?
Yeah, which is a good change. Which should, especially because, like you said, these people want the notoriety. That's the motive, generally speaking, for these kinds of spree killers. So
it went from everyone knowing like a Dylan and Eric to, I can't remember, like, out of the last several tragedies, I don't think I remember any of the names, you know? So, which is a good change, I think.
Absolutely. But it also could be a concerning aspect where maybe people don't know the names or don't remember the names because it's happening so much more.
That is also true. that is, I guess when you phrase it that way, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's potentially an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it is an issue, but like potentially
it's potentially an issue this is happening. The only one, honestly, I remember is Stephen Paddock, the Vegas guy, and I only know that because of all the conspiracies around it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know the conspiracies around that.
Boy, no.
What? How deep does it go? Anyway,
it goes pretty deep. Yeah, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper. He wasn't around London in 1888 with an M4 rifle or anything shooting people. He was stabbing people. Before we get into it, though, let's go over the time period and location. So yeah, before we go over a chronological explanation of the murders, so we are going to go over a timeline. I believe it is important to explore the time period itself because it was so long ago, and I don't want to go in there with our modern understandings of crime and society, which can like kind of flavor the perception. So it's important. Time period is 1888. The late 19th century was during the reign of Queen Victoria, which is obviously why it was called the Victorian era. This period was marked by rapid industrialization and urbanization. So everyone, with the advent of, these factories and industrialization, everyone came together in these kind of city centers and industrial sectors of cities to live in like squalid conditions, packed in like sardines, to, work 18 hours a day in their factory of employment. I'm using the term employment loosely. You've probably got the perception of what that was like. A lot of child labor.
Early areas of industry,
Yeah.
like the kickoff of it.
Just an awful existence, really. There were significant social issues, including poverty, unemployment, and social inequality. The gap between the wealthy and the poor was visible. Like, you could just very clearly see it, even more than probably you can see it today. Policing was less effective by a massive amount compared to modern standards. The Metropolitan Police, I think they're also known more commonly as like Scotland Yard, right? Or is that the building where they were located in?
I think I'm pretty sure Scotland Yard was the name of the investigators.
Okay. Regardless, Metropolitan Police I'm using interchangeably with, Scotland Yard.
Okay, so Scotland Yard, you are right, is the name of the headquarters, but because that was where they were located, that was also the name given to all investigators. It's kind of a nickname.
Right. So yeah, it became a nickname colloquially.
For the 32 boroughs of London. So yeah, this would count.
Yep. The Metropolitan Police, established in 1829, was still developing its methods and strategies for crime prevention and investigation. And of course, Sherlock Holmes was only just on the scene at this time and couldn't realistically be expected to stop every crime. So that's probably why Jack the Ripper got away with it for so long. Sherlock Holmes is still new to the investigation scene. And we also have the location, which was Whitechapel, which was located in the east end of London. Did you know? Of course, I'm assuming you would know. Whitechapel still exists to this day. It's still there. You can visit Whitechapel right now if you're in London. It's a suburb in London. Back then, it was known for being a densely populated, impoverished area. The district was home to many working-class citizens, including immigrants and the poor, living in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions. The area had high rates of crime, including petty theft, violence, and, of course, prostitution. Many women turned to prostitution due to economic desperation, which, of course, you still see that to this day. The living conditions were notoriously harsh in Whitechapel, with many residents living in squalid lodgings referred to as doss houses. Or simply on the streets themselves. So doss houses, from what I understand from reading about it, were basically just like buildings with as many people crammed into them as possible. Just like, yeah, pretty bad lodgings. Not nice places.
Yeah.
No, not nice places.
Have you heard that like some nights for like hotels or whatever, they would stretch a rope across a room and people would just lay over the rope to sleep?
Yeah. Or like, what do you call them, like hammocks and stuff like that. It was just
that's where the term hangover comes from, actually.
Oh, really? Wait,
yeah, because if you were super drunk, you could pay like a nickel to hang over a rope for the night.
Holy shit, really?
Yep.
Interesting. Well, I learned something this episode. That's good.
You can still go to like Whitechapel and stuff like that, because it was just an area of London, you know.
Yep.
That I assume it got better.
I would hope so. It's still the exact same.
I'm sure we'll talk about. Wasn't that the other name for Jack the Ripper? It was like the Whitechapel Ripper, or the.
Yeah, I'm sure there were a bunch of nicknames that
they called them all
him.
kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Whitechapel Ripper probably was one of them. All right. So before we get into the timeline, we're gonna now talk about the chronological killings. Just a quick word from the sponsor of this episode, MeUndies. You know me. I love me some MeUndies. They're the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn, and I wouldn't be caught dead leaving the house without strapping some to my body. They have super soft micromodal fabric that's breathable, stretchy, and extremely comfortable, and it's perfect for all day wear. They've also got a really awesome Move Me line, which has moisture wicking and anti-odor technology that's perfect for either working out or for when you need to keep cool on, you know, those stereotypical Australian miserably hot days. And it's summer over in America at the moment, so you've probably got a few places over there that are getting pretty hot and stinky. So MeUndies with their anti-odor technology in their Move Me line is a perfect solution to that. So yeah, you guys have already heard me talk about how comfortable MeUndies are, and that goes without saying. I wouldn't be wearing them if they weren't at a base level extremely comfortable, which they are. But on top of that, they also have style. With over 100 different colors and prints, there's something for everyone out there. Solid colors, patterns, designs, and more. Just across the board, just so many things to pick and choose from and tweak to your liking, so you can feel proud when you strap MeUndies to your tuchus. Beyond that, MeUndies also has a generous returns process, so if you're not happy with your first pair, you can send them back, no questions asked, and they'll take care of that for you. So you can live in comfort with MeUndies on your body or off your body as well. It's just comfort all round. So get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/redthread. That's the name of the show, Red Thread. That's MeUndies.com/redthread for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. Thank you very much to MeUndies for sponsoring this episode. And thanks to everyone for listening to the ad spot. It really does help out, and it helps out when you go check out MeUndies. So thank you if you do that. Thank you so much. Back to the show. Isaiah, would you like to start with
I would love
Mary
to,
Ann
absolutely.
Nichols?
Especially because we have the same last names, you know. Could have been me, I guess.
True. Yeah.
All right, so.
That's an awful realization.
Yeah. I have that sometimes when I read about murder cases or something like, huh, I do that. Well, like you just kind of have to sit with it. It is like people talk about serial killers and stuff like that a lot. It is tragic to think about really the concept of removing a soul from the earth, right? Like how wicked that is. It's
I cannot. I reading these stories, I get that it's interesting, obviously, in a morbid way. It definitely is interesting, but it's also like I just cannot stop myself from imagining these people that are removed from existence basically because of the selfish desires of another person, and imagining them as like friends and family and stuff like that. I just couldn't imagine it. It's just awful stuff, obviously.
So Mary Ann Nichols is believed to be the first victim of Jack the Ripper. She was a mom to 5 children in a relationship that fell apart in 1880 due to her problems with alcohol. It was 2 years after the end of her marriage when she started as a sex worker to earn money. On the night she was killed, which was August the 31st, she had been leaving the Frying Pan pub, which I forget. What? Like I forget in my head that like 1880 isn't that long ago. So pubs then I guess were named the same thing they would now, right?
Yeah, I mean they're probably named that way now because of the historical kind of
that's true.
Historical
that's
pubs
true,
that they're derived
they
from.
wouldn't change it. That just took me out for a second, and I imagined like a TGI Fridays.
The night she was killed, she was seen leaving the local TGIF.
yeah. She must have been an Outback. The Frying Pan pub, which was on Brick Street, where it is assumed she spent most of the money she had on her. Mary had later gone to her Doss house, a low-cost lodge, also known as a flop house, where she was turned away as she didn't have enough money for the night, which was 4 pence, or about £4.30 in today's money, converted for inflation. To clarify, that's £4.30. Do they call it cents? What do they call the remainder?
I don't know what they call the remainder. Pennies?
4.3 pounds, whatever that is. Weird British people. $4.30, by God.
I think it's like $6 American if you want to put
like
it in
$6,
units.
like $6, yeah. So that tells you how destitute this woman was. From this, it's thought that she then went back onto the streets to earn some more money, where she ultimately met her fate.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, what an awful existence.
Such a tragic story.
Having to go out and, prostitute yourself just to afford, a flop house for the night. Just awful.
And I understand some people, enjoy working in sex work and stuff like that, but that's clearly not, it's a mother of 5 who, can't afford anything, so she has to sell her body for money. That is tragic. That is so sad, yeah.
Definitely a big difference between people who choose to do this for, work, choose to do it for easy money or the notion of easy money anyway, and people who literally have no other option or feel that they have no other option. Just extremely sad.
It is very sad. In the East End, a cart driver discovered the body of a woman laying on the streets at around 3:40 a.m. She was in front of an entrance of a building later renamed Durward Street in Whitechapel. Mary was on her back, her legs laid out straight, and her skirt above her knees, and her eyes were wide open. The man who discovered her, Charles Allen Cross, was seen by another driver, Robert Paul, who came over to see what Charles was looking at. Mary's face was still warm, but her hands were cold. They went and searched for a policeman who, when found, was told, quote, "She looks to me to be either dead or drunk, but for my part, I believe she's dead."
I mean, not to diminish the good word of Charles Allen Cross or anything like that, but like, how would you possibly believe that she was drunk if she was like laid out straight, eyes open, and she wasn't responding to like any kind of, you know, prodding or talking to her or anything?
Like, in the 1880s, people weren't super well educated normally, right? So it's like, you see someone on the ground, like eyes glazed over, laid back. It's like, maybe people can, you know, look that way when they're drunk. Who knows? Unless, because it doesn't mention they saw blood, or they didn't have any mention of anything like that. So it's like, maybe this girl just got like hammered. Now she's lying out in the street. And even he did say like, for my part, I think she's dead. Yeah. Like, this is, if she's drunk like this, I've never seen it before. So yeah.
Yeah, true.
Also, you don't like, how many nights have you been out and you're just like, oh, a body? No, your first thought is like, that guy's had too much, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah. But that's the modern. Okay, yeah, true. I was gonna say it's the modern time, but I don't think it would be that different then either.
Yeah. Because there's been a couple times like walking around New Orleans where I've seen someone on the street and I'm like, is that a body? Because I'm strange. And then it's like, oh no, that guy's just like gone. He's just had way too much, yeah.
Or like a homeless person's sleeping.
Yeah. So, something like that.
And that was probably extremely prevalent in Whitechapel at the time, 1880.
Probably, especially considering how packed everyone was. Yeah. A local doctor was called and inspected the body around 4 a.m. Upon closer inspection, he initially discovered that Mary had a deep slash to her throat and that she had probably died just around 30 minutes prior.
Can we talk about the response time there really quickly? Because this is what impressed me in the 1888. So she was found at 3:40 a.m. and then 20 minutes later, a cop is on the scene with a local doctor. Like, that's pretty incredible to me.
Had to be near each other, or generalizations in time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it could be just like bad reporting of the time.
But even within 30 minutes, that's pretty good.
For the time, like, yeah, I mean, sure, it would be pretty hard to beat that in modern times, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Give them credit where it's due. They did in fact confirm that body was a body pretty quick. So.
Yep.
Mary's body was quickly moved to a nearby mortuary, where they were able to take a better look at her injuries. The slashes to her throat reached her vertebral column. Ugh. And were inflicted from left to right. Oh man, that's like, I didn't know it was that deep.
Very deep. Which speaks to a level of deep hatred.
Yeah, like, that's basically a decapitation.
Yeah.
Which also, funny enough, is how Nicole Simpson was found. So it's crazy that the random stranger who killed her, you know, hated her that much. Who we never found.
O.J. Simpson
ever.
was a time traveler.
And maybe OJ knows who did it. We should ask him.
But we can't now.
Yeah, the slash, I guess we'll never know. The slashes to her throat reached her column. She had bruises on her face, which could have been from being punched or the pressure of being held while the killer slit her throat. She had multiple deep wounds across her abdomen, and her bowels were beginning to protrude from her body. Killer had stabbed her vagina twice. I kind of agree with you. There is intense levels of hatred going on here, beyond just wanting to kill someone, right?
The stabbing of the vagina would also, you know, corroborate the theory that this is due to a deep hatred of women in general.
Yeah. The doctor, Dr. Llewellyn, gave his testimony, which was reported in the Times on the 3rd of September. And the testimony reads as follows. 5 teeth were missing, and there was a slight laceration of the tongue. There was, oh man, gosh, this poor woman. There was a bruise running along the lower part of the jaw on the right side of the face. That might have been caused by a blow from a fist or pressure from a thumb. There was a circular bruise on the left side of the face, which also might have been inflicted by the pressure of the fingers. On the left side of the neck, about 1 inch below the jaw, there was an incision about 4 inches in length and ran from a point immediately below the ear. On the same side, but an inch below, and commencing about 1 inch in front of it was a circular incision, which terminated at a point about 3 inches below the right jaw. That incision completely severed all the tissue down to the vertebra. The large vessels of the neck on both sides were severed. The incision was about 8 inches in length. The cuts must have been caused by a long-bladed knife, moderately sharp, and used with great violence. No blood was found on the breast, either of the body or the clothes. There were no injuries about the body until just about the lower part of the abdomen. 2 or 3 inches from the left side was a wound running in a jagged manner. The wound was a very deep one, and the tissues were cut through. There were several incisions running across the abdomen. There were 3 or 4 similar cuts running downwards on the right side, all of which had been caused by a knife which had been used violently and downwards. The injuries were from left to right and might have been done by a left-handed person. All the injuries had been caused by the same instrument.
What's crazy about this is her body was discovered on the street. So he, Jack the Ripper, must have done all this on the street unless he took the body out there, carried the body out there to be displayed.
Yeah, it had to be... I mean, maybe it was like in an alley or something, and maybe he dragged it out. But otherwise, yeah, it would have to be just on the street, which it doesn't take a lot of time to do that, right?
To do what part? The dragging the body out, or
the killing, like to slash a throat and then stab all over. Like he probably could have done it in what, 30 seconds?
That's still, I don't know. That seems like a long time to me to do it in a public setting.
Correct, but it is 4 in the morning.
Yeah, but it's also in an area of Whitechapel.
And lights back then were not what they were today. If it was night outside, it was really dark. There was just like candle lights every, however many.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's possible. I think it just also speaks to a confidence that the, Jack the Ripper may have had. Or maybe it was entirely impulsive and he just cannot control himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Could just be.
It speaks to something.
Doesn't mean he thought it out that well. Yeah.
Yeah. So this next one is September 8th. Annie Chapman. Did you say the time, the date for the previous one?
It was it was August 31st, 1888, right?
Yep. So August 31st was Mary Ann Nichols, and then September 8th, so about a week later, was Annie Chapman. So just over a week later, the killer struck again. Annie Chapman was 47 years old, and like Mary Ann Nichols, she had become a sex worker to make ends meet. She had been in a marriage, but it also had ended due to drinking problems. She had 3 children, the oldest dying of meningitis at an early age, and her youngest disabled. When their marriage fell apart, her husband would give her 10 shillings, which is 53 pounds and 81 poundlings, or whatever it's called, a week. So that much a week to help her, but when he later passed away and he had no money coming in, she would crochet and tried to sell wait, how do you pronounce that? Crocheted flowers she handmade, but it wasn't enough to live. That broke my heart reading that.
Well, this is depressing.
I know, it's so sad. Like that. I'm just imagining my grandma crocheting or something, and it's just sad.
She's trying to provide for a disabled kid by selling flowers she knits, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go into prostitution.
There's so much evil in the world, man. It's so sad.
I'm sad. Thanks, man. What a great idea. Where's Char? Let's make fun of that guy again. Ha ha. Ha, Charlie.
Actually, that is a note that we often get on the show, is like, you're talking about serious things and you guys are laughing too much. But man, if we couldn't find ways to laugh,
to. You want us to just sit here the whole time and be like, wow.
Like, I get it. It does sound kind of insensitive sometimes, but also like, I don't want to actually break down into tears during the episode.
I would defend us a little bit and say that we never joke at the expense of the tragedy. We joke at the absurdity of either investigators ignoring clues, or the obviousness of evidence, or something like that, or the levels
perpetrators
of
doing absolutely stupid things.
Or like the courts getting something wrong. We're never making jokes about like this mother who was murdered and stuff like that.
This
and
is just tragic.
I think that sometimes it's good to highlight the absurdity in these situations, because I mean, situations like that continue. So pointing out the ridiculousness of it, even to a hilarity. I think I don't see anything wrong with it. If we were sitting here making jokes about the victims,
yeah, like insulting Annie Chapman.
Yeah, or if like we were like, well, I guess you shouldn't have, you know, gone into prostitution or whatever, something like that, I would get it. But no, like I think the stuff we make fun of is fair game, because otherwise, like you said, what, you just want it to be sad the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, it's also like my way. I don't know about you specifically, but it is my way of like coping with
It's
this,
a
like,
cope.
really,
Yeah, for sure.
really depressing things. Like
100%. Now that's me and
putting on a
Jackson.
show.
Charlie has told us in confidence that he loves making fun of victims. That
Yeah, he can't stop.
nothing. Yeah, I believe his quote was, "Nothing makes me happier than laughing at someone who died." And
Yeah,
I don't agree with that, but you know, you can take that up with him when he comes back. So.
All right, where was I? Annie was found.
There you go.
Yeah, back to the sad stuff. Annie was found in the backyard of 29 Hanbury Street. One of the 17 people who lived in the 3-story house, John Davis, found her in the early morning. The brutality of the murder had increased. Her neck was slashed twice, so deep that it went to the spine. A large cut was found displayed across her abdominal section, and her intestines had been removed and then put on her shoulder, which became a bit of like a calling card as well in the future murders. But I think this was the first time that he had actively done this. So her intestines had been removed and then put on her shoulder. Other organs such as her uterus and part of her bladder had also been removed from her body, which is kind of why he, you know, got the nickname the Ripper, because he was ripping body parts out. Annie had actually been seen just half an hour before the body was found. About 5:30 a.m., a woman walking down the street saw Annie and a shabby man in front of 29 Hanbury Street. The man had apparently said to Annie, quote, "Will you?" end quote, and she replied, quote, "Yes," end quote. While we don't really know what the conversation was about, many theorize this was likely or could have been her killer, due to obviously proximity of time and him being the last known person, well, last seen person around her. Noises were also heard around 5:40 a.m., 20 minutes before her body was found. A resident of the house next door, number 27, heard a thump and a woman whispering, quote, "No," end quote. But there were often sounds and disturbances throughout the street, so he didn't think much of it until Annie's body was found. So someone actually heard her whispering no, and I would imagine if she was whispering, she was probably already, you know, under attack. Maybe like he was stopping her from shouting somehow, like a hand over her mouth or something like that.
Also, if you're like stabbed in the lungs, you normally can't scream or let out a loud noise, but you can whisper sometimes. So maybe that was it, you know?
Okay, yeah, that could be it. The murders began to gain traction with the press reporting on it, and chaos began to take hold around the area. People were scared. It was around this time that the name Leather Apron began to describe the killer. So he was known as Leather Apron at the start of this, which is not a really, like, you know, catchy nickname, but that's what he was known as.
Why Leather Apron?
I'll get into it in a second.
Oh, sorry.
Many men in Whitechapel at the time worked in trades such as slaughtering or shoemaking in which they wore leather aprons. So that was common at the time. There was an early suspect in the murders, John Pisa, who had the nickname Leather Apron, as he was a shoemaker. When police spoke to local sex workers, they spoke of this man by his nickname and told officers that they were scared of him. He was known to be aggressive and would demand money off the sex workers and beat them up if they refused. This got its way to the news. Wait, he would demand money off the sex workers? He's got it the wrong way around. You're meant to give them money. That's how that works.
Well, he sounds like just an awful person who's like, well, I'm going to hook up with this person and then I can rob them.
Yeah. Oh, true. So he was having sex with them, then stealing the money off them.
Yeah, because what are they going to do? Fight back? Go to the police? Like, yeah. Just an awful person.
This got its way to the news, who began to spread news on the suspect, heightening the fear around the name. And then this is a quote. Leather Apron, the only... Oh, sorry, no, this is an article from the newspaper The Star, which was released on the 5th of September, 1888. And the headline reads, Leather Apron, the only name linked with the Whitechapel murders, a noiseless midnight terror. And then I'm going to read the article itself, or at least a highlight of the article, to kind of paint what the perception was in the media at the time. So this is, quote, Leather Apron by himself is quite an unpleasant character. If, as many of the people suspect, he is the real author of the 3 murders, which, in everybody's judgment, were done by the same person, he is more ghoulish and devilish brute than can be found in all the pages of shocking fiction. He has ranged Whitechapel for a long time. He exercises over the unfortunates who ply their trade after 12 o'clock at night, a sway that is based on universal terror. He is a character so much like the invention of a story writer that the accounts of him given by all the streetwalkers of the Whitechapel district seem like romances. The remarkable thing is, however, that they all agree in every particular. Ever since the last murder, the name Leather Apron has been falling repeatedly on the ear of the reporters. His expression is sinister, and seems to be full of terror for the woman who described it. His eyes are small and glittering. His lips are usually parted in a grin, which is not only not reassuring, but excessively repellent. He's a slipper maker by trade. This article is just like...
His hair's
just
whack,
insulting
his
him.
shoes whack,
Yeah.
his girl whack.
He got no style. He's a slipper maker by trade, but does not work. His business is blackmailing women late at night. There is something he's like, this guy's unemployed, he sucks, he stinks.
Yeah, he got no
man.
money, he got no... Maybe
no
in a
swag.
second it's going to be like he only wears white t-shirts.
His voice is very monotone.
His voice is very monotone.
A number of men in Whitechapel follow this interesting profession. He has never cut anybody so far as known, but always carries a leather knife, presumably as sharp as leather knives are wont to be. What a weird sentence. He carries a knife sharp as knives can be. Knives are known to be sharp. This knife, a number of the women have seen. His name nobody knows, but all are united in the belief that he is a Jew or of Jewish parentage, his face being of a marked Hebrew type. But the most...
What the heck?
No, there was a very anti-Semitic undertone to Whitechapel at the time.
Yeah, well, it's the 1880s. Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously the suspect was immediately Jewish. But the most singular characteristic of the man, and one which tends to identify him closely with last Friday night's work, is the universal statement that in moving about he never makes any noise. What he wears on his feet, the women do not know, but they all agree that he moves noiselessly. His uncanny peculiarity to them is that they never see him or know of his presence until he is close by them. So, I mean, he was known to be like a panther that stalks late at night, basically, like very quiet man.
Okay. It's funny looking at these old letters and stuff like that, because nowadays we have like, hey, we've got like a century of like, you know, the press, like when you're allowed to say something, when you're allowed to talk about suspects, you know, stuff like that. And it's funny to see before any of that. You could just make an article that's like, hey, there's this guy who lives nearby, and I think it was him. And my evidence is that people also think it's him, and he's a Jew.
I mean, the article basically amounts to, hey, this guy sucks. Everybody says so. He probably killed those people.
Like, sure, if all the stuff about, like, he would rob sex workers is true, then yeah, awful guy. But that doesn't mean you're like, he did it. This man right here, get him. Yeah.
Again, like the sensationalization. I don't even know if that's a word, but yeah, the building up of this guy in the article, like he's a person that stalks the night noiselessly and stuff like that. The article writers were obviously having a lot of fun with this, I think.
Yeah, of course. His knife is as sharp as knives want to be.
It's very dramatic, which of course it is a dramatic event, but you know, they're obviously, you know, building it up. John Pisa, so that guy that we were just describing, was arrested on the 10th of September when he was at his home on Mulberry Street. The police were quite certain that John was Leather Apron, which is Jack the Ripper. We're using Leather Apron at the moment because Jack the Ripper hasn't been invented yet.
The name hasn't come around yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been like focus tested into the perfection that is Jack the Ripper. So he's currently known as Leather Apron, and he seemed to match some of the criteria. But after extensive questioning and cross-checking alibis, John was released and deemed innocent. I'm not sure exactly what evidence they found that deemed him innocent, but he was released eventually, and yeah, they deemed him innocent.
So after Leather Apron is done away with, on September the 27th, we have the Dear Boss letter. So, at the Central News Agency in London on the 27th of September, an inconspicuous letter was received. It was titled Dear Boss, and this would bring with it the first mention of the moniker that is still used today, Jack the Ripper. Dated for the 25th of that month, the letter reads, Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about leather apron gave me real fits. I am down on whores and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Haha. The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers just for jolly, wouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knife's so nice and sharp, I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. P.S. Wasn't good enough to post this before. I got all the red ink off my hands. Curse it, no luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Haha.
I don't know what that means. That ending.
The ending?
Means. Yeah, they say I'm a doctor now. Haha.
I think what he's saying when they say I'm a doctor now is because people probably heard about the organs being removed and were like, oh, he must be a doctor.
Yeah.
So he's probably saying like, oh, they think I'm a doctor.
Strangely casual ending to the letter, though. I mean, it's all very
the P.S. Yeah, that's so weird.
It also reminds me of the Zodiac Killer, that kind of bravado.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The same kind of cadence and attitude about the whole thing. The like, oh, isn't this fun, police? You and I are going to play a game, like that attitude.
It's all just a game, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Wasn't good enough to post this. Oh, he's saying that this letter's arriving late because he had to give it time for the ink to come off his hands. Because he didn't want to get spotted with red ink on his hands after the letter goes out. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And since writing at the beginning, he had heard someone mention that Jack the Ripper must be the leather apron must be a doctor. So that's why he says they say I'm a doctor now. I see.
He also says, I am down on whores and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled, which is very, obviously hates women and sex workers.
Yep, but a stand-up guy. The letter was passed on to the police 2 days later. They were skeptical if it was actually written by the killer. It was made public October 1st alongside the Saucy Jack postcard.
Which is something we'll get into eventually.
It's not funny. It's definitely, Saucy Jack definitely isn't funny. But while they were looking over and reading this letter, another 2 women were attacked by Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, so just real quick. So this letter was held onto by the police and then released after the next 2 murders. So
yeah, because they probably were. I'm sure they had a bunch of people being like, haha, I am the leather apron, stuff like that. Because that stuff's been going on forever.
Yeah, and there were many documented ones in this case as well, like people writing in that were very evidently not who they claim to be.
Right, so they want to keep it, a level of, kind of secrecy until there's confirmation. So it makes sense why they didn't release it right away. There's also no information in it that would help anything, right?
No, not at all.
I mean, you could even if you want to argue, well, in the PS he says that he's not a doctor. It's like, yeah, but he could just be saying that.
He could, yeah. There's no. Why is the assumption that he's going to be honest and true?
Exactly. That's like saying because he names himself Jack the Ripper, his first name must be Jack. No.
Yeah.
That's.
But obviously,
so, I get what they do.
Serial killer that disembowels people is a very honest man.
Yeah, of course. He seems like a stand-up guy. We should trust him.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the September 30th killing of Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes, also called the Double Event. So Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes were murdered in the early hours of the 30th in London City. Elizabeth was found first around 1 a.m. in the morning at a place called Dutfield Yard. She was discovered by a steward from a surrounding club whose pony he was riding abruptly drew back, alerting the rider to something on the road. Elizabeth's throat had been slit. She was lying on her side, but her clothes were not touched, and there's no other significant wounds were found on her body, leading many to believe that the killer was interrupted by the steward. That would make sense because, assuming it is the Ripper who killed her, he didn't have time to do the stuff he did with the second victim, or even the first.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It sounds like because these women aren't making any noise or like screaming besides like the whispered no, he's probably just killing them outright, you know, at first, and then mutilating the bodies, if I had to guess.
That's what my assumption would be as well. But I mean, if the the second woman, Annie Chapman, if her story is true, or the theory around her story is true, she was found talking to that individual before. If that is the individual that would become Jack, or was Jack the Ripper, the one talking to her outside the house, and then they went inside the house or whatever. I mean, he didn't outright kill her.
Oh no, I mean, I think that the mutilation.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Here to talk about PlayStation on PC. And what is that? Bloodborne news? Bloodborne news? We're talking about Bloodborne? What's going on? What's going on? Is this the year of our Lord and Savior? No. Okay, so as you guys might know, Bloodborne is the PlayStation game that, alongside Ghost of Tsushima, to be honest, let's not, like... Bro, I've been shocked by how many people want Ghost of Tsushima on PC, and I'm sure that game is coming to PC. Bloodborne is like... I'm not going to say it's Half-Life 3 territory, but it's getting pretty damn close to Half-Life 3 territory of people wanting that game on PC. And we have not an update on whether or not the game is coming anytime soon, but this is a very interesting post by Imran Khan over on the Reset Era board, noting that Bloodborne PC and PS5 was at the point in the works. Haven't heard anything in literal years, so I wouldn't hold my breath, but Lance was correct there. So a lot to digest there. If you remember, a couple years ago, I did upload a video covering this story. I want to say it was in 2022 when the PlayStation on PC stuff was really hitting like a fever pitch, and we were getting a lot of games on PC. You know, like God of War was coming, Horizon and Days Gone had already dropped at that point, but we were getting a lot of these PlayStation on PC games, and it just seemed like a foregone conclusion that Bloodborne not only would get a PlayStation 5 remaster, but it would also get a PC version, because guess what? These companies, they exist to make money. What is the best way to generate a lot of money? Oh, Bloodborne on PC and PlayStation 5, and I have no doubt in my mind that at some point it will happen, and I will go back to that in a second, but it's so interesting to me that it was in the works for a while, and then it either got scrapped or it got canned, in the sense that either it's finished or they had progress done on it, but they decided to pause development on it and shift those workers to other projects. That could be a possibility, but I say that could be a possibility if they were like down bad desperate to get developers on to like doing live service games. Like, yo, I just offer this to you guys as an idea, and this is my absolute pessimism. This is me just hating the world type talk. Imagine like Bloodborne on PC and PlayStation 5 was in development, but then whoever was in charge, remember, the time where Bloodborne would be in development is also around the time that theoretically Sony would be shifting into doing a lot of live service games that could generate them a lot of revenue for years and years. Well, Bloodborne is a title that could generate a lot of revenue for, when it came out, and also I would argue that it would generate revenue for years and years, given that Dark Souls, Sekiro, all those games, they're bought constantly, but I digress. Imagine they were like, alright guys, stop development on Bloodborne, it ain't it. Go work on Concord, go work on Fair Game, not those games in particular, but go work on live service projects instead. They're gonna make us more money. I have no idea if that happened, but I want you guys to just think about a hypothetical world where that happened, and like, yo, that's just my mind going crazy. Can you imagine that that was the reasoning? Again, that's totally me throwing a dart on the board. That probably wasn't the reason, and I would imagine that if Bloodborne PC and PlayStation 5 was in development, I would think it was being done by Bluepoint. Like, that would make all the sense in the world to me, but maybe it would be handled by a different studio. I don't know. But Bloodborne getting an upgraded release, I would just have to think that Sony, the execs, whoever's involved with making decisions like this, they're not dumb. At least I would like to think they're not dumb, and they know what's going to generate a lot of revenue. And at the end of the day, Bloodborne getting an upgraded release, yes, it would be an undertaking, and it would probably cost quite a bit of money to do it, but it would be far less than doing an outright brand new AAA title. We all know that to be the case, and the return on Bloodborne on PC and PlayStation 5 would be astronomical. Like, are we even doubting that Bloodborne bundled in with the Old Hunters released $60 on PC? That's selling 1 million copies easily day one. It's selling 1 million copies easily on PlayStation 5. This would be one of those games that if I was Sony and I was just trying to make the most amount of money possible, knowing that I could pop off with Bloodborne on PlayStation 5, I wouldn't even offer like an upgrade path. I wouldn't even give you the $10 an upgrade, the $10 upgrade option like they did with Last of Us Part 2. Hell, if they could get away with that with Last of Us Part 1, you tell me they can't get away with Bloodborne, a game that people want to remaster and upgraded release of way more than they wanted of The Last of Us Part 1 back in 2022? You damn right they want Bloodborne more, and you could easily price that at $6, and it would just generate a ton of money. And I would have to think that these companies know that, and ultimately they will do the things that will generate them a lot of money, and Bloodborne on PC and PlayStation 5 would absolutely do that. And the thing is, it would generate them way more money than a AAA game being developed ground up, and it would be a lot less of an investment. Again, that whole thing about them focusing on live service games, yeah, Sony is certainly doing that. Like, you can't even argue that they're not doing that. They're absolutely doing that. Look at the first party lineup of PlayStation this year for PlayStation 5. Oh, guess what? It's non-existent outside of potentially just live service games. They've got a lot of third-party published titles coming out like Stellar Blade, Rise of Ronin, etc., but as far as first party goes, it's a barren wasteland. But you know, Bloodborne I think will ultimately happen just because, again, it would just generate so much money. We're talking like easily 1 million copies sold, 2 million copies sold day one for a remaster, and I'm not even saying it has to be a full-on remake. It just came out back in 2015, and I mean 2015 is almost a decade ago at this point, but the game still looks really good. The issue is that game runs horribly on the PlayStation 4. I loved Bloodborne. It is my favorite game from Software, but that game runs absolutely atrociously on the PS4, and legitimately, if you go back and play that game, you're dipping at like 23 frames per second, and ain't nobody trying to play it that way. People want to play it at 60 FPS, and people, you know, would love to see it getting upgraded in the sense of, you know, better visuals, but mainly, I think most people just want the higher frame rate, and on PC, it would do so well. Like, bro, they are porting Sackboy: A Big Adventure! Sackboy: A Big Adventure, guys! Sackboy: A Big Adventure! I love me some Little Big Planet. I don't like Sackboy as a character, but Sackboy: A Big Adventure, guys! And we can't get damn Bloodborne on PC? Like, who's making these decisions? Like, I'm sure maybe Sackboy was a little bit easier to port. No slight on my boy Sackboy, but like, let's be real here for a second. Bloodborne would make orders of magnitude more money than Sackboy, and that's what we're getting. And even if they don't want to port it to PC, why isn't it at least been remastered onto PlayStation 5? I'm sure they have their reasoning. I'm sure they have...
Pa neće doći da bude napolje, šta? Sima je ustao i otiča vjerojatno u krevet.
Nije.
Nije, a?
Zamisli ti toga prasta. Sebično.
Nisam ništa rekao.
Otišao i kupio burek. Jogurt. I tako sam išao zove, ima nas tu još, ja i Lija. Hoće da ode, neće sad, eto, ima piće.
Pa dobro, možda ja sam doručkao što toga tiče, ali moga je da pita hoće li neko burek, idem dolje da uzmem.
Da, ideš u pola
1:10. Hoće još da uzmem tanjir super prije nego što odnem.
Ne znam gdje si. Ne znam gdje peški.
Pojma nema. Pa ja gledam da je to uredno, kažemo tako.
Aj, moraš onaj kako se onaj.
Da, ima ona kao krema za to
vlast. Pa ne, može se baš uvod.
A, kalim permanganat. A to nisam davno kupovao, to treba da odem u apoteku. Vjerojatno ću uzeti jutro. Ne znam da li danas radi frizerka.
Koliko si prošli put platio one tablete?
Za?
One 2 kutije.
Nemam pojma, ne sjećam se.
Sad je skoro 900 dinara. Ja kad sam uzeo prije tebe, bilo je 720. Ili 620.
Nešto.
Sad je 900. A doar o Pepe zice unul apățea. Aici trebuie o gură. Ia are cu colajen. Păi finiu, da. Asta pe el. Da, pe tot. Geo. Bine, biciclu. Cosa să mergă? Rano je izvod. Ući me u šta to zavišice. Allah.
Ne.
You know, they're
Nasz.
Literal liberal.
Wait.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Bloodborne! This is Bloodborne! Oh! No way! This is Bloodborne!
No way!
This is Bloodborne! This is Bloodborne!
There's no way in fucking hell.
No, it's not, bro.
No, it's not.
Oh! What's this? Whoa! Whoa, this ain't Bloodborne! This is Bloodborne with a fat...
What is it, though?
It's not Bloodborne.
Is this Wukong? Is this no? This is Rise of the Ronin, I think. This Rise of the Ronin.
Wait.
This that Dark Souls game. This that Dark Souls game that's coming out.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on, they got me by the balls, boy.
This that Souls-like game that's coming out in a couple of months.
You know better.
Hold on.
You look kind of gas. I'm not gonna lie.
Kinda? Nigga, whoa!
Are we fighting yokai?
I don't know none of these studios though. That's the only thing.
That's awesome.
Let me see the okay.
Ooh, they got Ghost of Tsushima camera.
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait, this is.
Oh, yo, this nigga alone sick. That nigga was cooler than all the trailers we seen all himself.
It's about to get crazy. Hold on. Okay.
Oh! You see that dart? Oh shit!
It's not
Yo! Weave.
We're locked in.
It's up.
Sony, you can do no wrong. I'm deleting the eBay posting.
Okay.
Yo!
Okay. Oh, behind cover?
Is this gameplay? Is this all gameplay?
This is kind of clean.
Is this all gameplay?
This nigga running that wall?
Wait. Was that all gameplay?
This is gameplay.
Yo, wait a minute. No, son.
Yo, this is moving in water.
Nah, man.
Hold on.
Yo!
Nigga. I'm emulating dog.
What the fuck has this studio done before?
Everything.
Oh, hell no. Bro. This is Bloodborne Ghost, bro.
No, nigga, this is the best game ever made.
All gameplay.
Yeah. Holy shit! Holy shit!
That's tough. This shit looks like a movie, twin. Bro.
Yo!
What the fuck?
Who are these niggas?
I'm ready.
Master. Keyblade?
Y'all showed me enough. I'm sold. What's the release date?
What have these niggas made?
Please have a release date.
I'd wait.
All we have to do is wait.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's fair.
2025, baby. Here we go.
Wait, hold on.
Now this is tough. Nah, they got me.
If this shit launches this year, I'm killing somebody.
Brother, Phantom Blade.
Phantom Blade 0. Phantom Blade 0.
Give me a release date and I'm coming. Give me a release date and I'm coming.
I'll wait.
When?
I don't need a date. I'll wait.
Give me a date.
That's tough. I'll wait. Wait a year? Is another part of the trailer? Bro.
Okay.
PS5. When?
Give me some numbers. Give me some numbers. No.
must wait a moment. I'm out of spirit. I need more spirit.
And pray. Put my hands together and pray for one important thing. I don't pray for the end of world hunger or world peace or the cure of various horrible diseases. No, I pray for a game. There has seemingly been this insane drought the past couple of years of games. Now, I've ran the bit dry that the PS5, for example, has no games. It basically just being a $500 Netflix machine. But what I do actually want to say now is there are no games anywhere. There is a drought of games. And one show that was hopefully going to save us and deliver us a game was the Summer Games Festival. Now, let me give you a little rundown how it happened. After the show, Jeff Keighley, the host and creator of Summer Games Fest, basically said, what would you rate the show out of A being the best, D being the worst? Here are the votes, by the way. The problem with these game festivals is they usually just end up being walking ads. For example, when this report came out that people had to pay $250,000 for a 1-minute ad. Now, I will admit there were some games being announced, games that I already knew were in production like years prior. But honestly, the longest game to be shown off, I think, was like some kind of Clash of Clans spin-off because they bought ad space for it, which took up like, it feels mentally like it was a quarter of the entire show. But this was the entirety of the Summer of No Games Festival. 8 hours of no games. I don't know how long it's going to last. Oh, it's starting. It's starting. A game.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Summer Game Fest 2020.
A game. Donald Trump, save us, Donald Trump. I'm manifesting a game. I'm manifesting a game.
The good news is that we have a lot of amazing games to show you.
There's games? Supermarket Simulator, Supermarket Simulator, Supermarket Simulator. That's dead game. That Power World is so dead. Dead game. Game is dying. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Supermarket Simulator. Hades 2's good. Fell off. I didn't play it. Deep Rock is good. I'm surprised they put Buckshot on there.
It all begins right now. Here's our first announcement.
A game. Oh my god, there's a game. There's a game. There's a game. There's a game. There's a game.
For the lead and unannounced action game. Oh, sure. I get that a lot, but
Lego game? Lego games are actually fun as a kid though.
Hey, neat costume. Get me one of those. Ooh, sandwich.
Didn't they have Lego Fortnite like 6 months ago? It looks cute, but like I wouldn't really play it. Someone said skip. You do realize it's a live stream, right? Oh, so it's only Horizon. That's kind of MIDI. Guys, if you do vote next, you'll veto it to the next game. But we need 1,000 people to do it. Please, Donald Trump. Please, Donald Trump, give us a game. Please, Donald Trump.
No More Room in Hell 2. The sequel to
okay. I'm excited for this one. I'm actually excited for this one. No more games in hell. No more games in hell. I'm actually looking forward to this one though. This one's been in development hell for like ages. The original is so good as well because it's so slow paced. Oh, it's gonna be cinema. Please don't be like the day before, bro. Or like overkill The Walking Dead. Yeah, they all walk so slowly. So they're definitely going for that slower pace. Oh, I wonder if they're doing like an extraction shooter thing. Oh, that actually looks sick though. 8-player co-op. That's crazy. Release date, please. I knew it'd be Halloween. Based.
Let's get straight to another world premiere. This is a highly anticipated game from a beloved franchise. Let's take a look.
When it comes to Quidditch, we've all wondered,
Do I have what it takes?
Damn, I wonder how much they got. I wonder how much they got paid to use their likeness. I like how they made a game about Quidditch, which was like the one thing that Hogwarts Legacy didn't have. So they make a whole game just about Quidditch. We're doing /skip in the chat. I mean, it looks fun. Would I play it? No. I saw it on Epic, so definitely not.
On Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, you'll get to see a full gameplay showcase during Ubisoft's Forward event.
Open worlds.
Continuing summer game.
A friend needs a little something stolen.
I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. But I don't know, man. Ubislop. Yeah, I don't know.
Neva comes from Nomada Studio, the creators of the Game Award-winning game Grease. It chronicles the story of Alba, a woman bound to a curious wolf cub. Here's your first ever look at the gameplay.
Anime game? It's a fairy game, boys. It's over. Damn, the art style is sick, though. The art style's cool. Yeah, it looks insane. It's definitely one of those games that's going to have just very basic combat, very basic mechanics, but, like, you know, because of, like, the art style and the direction and the story, it's like, it's going to be one of those games that you play, like, once and then never again, which is fine, as long as they're not charging $60 for it.
All right, next, it's time for our next game announcement.
The game? Civ? Yeah, it probably is Civ, isn't it? I've never played a Civ game, to be fair. I wish I enjoyed games like Civ, but I'm just too stupid. I get turned off by games that are like top down, usually, apart from like Darkwood. Like RTS games just always put me to bed. I wish I could enjoy them. I really wish I could. But just managing everything, it's just too much for me. Damn, they've made 7 of those games. Oh, 2025, it's over. Yeah, actually next year. Damn, you guys are hyped over this Civ game, eh? What's so good about it? I don't really do like RTS games. I just remember, like, in the Civ games, you could basically destroy civilization, or you could, like, make peace with them. There was, like, 2 routes, I think. I'm only talking from, like, YouTube videos. Is this Wukong? Monkey game. I keep forgetting that China actually makes games as well. Wukong! Wukong! Damn. Pretty soon. Well, it's like 2 months. Is that DLC? Or is that a whole game? I like how they got a shield, a special edition. We sell perfume that makes you smell like a monkey for $100. No gameplay? Uh-oh. Yeah, I was going to say, it's out in 2 months. Oh, are they shilling this again? This already came out, didn't it? The best VR game ever made. 2023 Quest Game of the Year. Why are we shilling this? Let's go for it. I guess they just bought an ad. They really show Garfield for an ad? Okay, that's kind of base though. Not Starfield, bro. Come on, not Starfield. Really? No, stop showing Starfield. That's awful. By the way, I do want to confirm. Guaranteed. This is a 2-hour stream, right? 1 hour will be for games. The second hour will just be Kojima talking in broken English. That isn't Kojima. Yeah, no shit. Jeff didn't get on the floor and start crying in the fetal position. Please show some games. There's no games. There's no games to show. 100 minutes? No. These guys might have 100 minutes, but because Kojima's here, there's no way. There's no way.
It is said that we all have inherited heroic virtues deep within us.
Anime. Is this Persona? Same devs, different game. Yeah, I don't play anime games. The only game I played as a kid was 99 Nights and Lost Odyssey. And Monster Hunter 2. That's it. No, Lost Planet 2. There's like a fat alien in Lost Planet 2 that'd eat you, and you have to like shoot your way out.
Batman Arkham Shadow is a MetaQuest 3 exclusive VR
God
game
damn it, man. I thought we got a new Arkham game. VR slop. It's over.
Here's your first look at the story trailer for Batman
VR slop. It's actually over. Bro, it could have been a new one. They could have actually clutched. They could have clutched after Suicide Squad. And it's just VR.
There's a new darkness overtaking Gotham.
You put more effort into your sloppy pyro-live than the actual video.
Oh, Gordon actually looks like Gordon at least. Yeah, that could have been good, but it's AI slop. And no gameplay, by the way. No gameplay. AI slop? I meant VR slop. My brain tired. I've been streaming for nearly 9 hours straight. Is this JoJo? It's definitely not JoJo, but it looks like JoJo. It's Street Fighter? I don't recognize any of the characters, though. Oh, wait. That's not Street Fighter. Who's Terry from again? What fighting game? Is it Face or Fury? Terry Bogard from Street Fighter. Oh, really? There's like a crossover. Who's that guy again? Isn't that Gideon? What's his name? Oh, Bison. That's right. No games so far? No. There's been a no more. Was it No More Room in Hell?
I can fix
No More
it.
Room in Hell 2. There has been a
if you
game.
need
There has been a
support.
game. This looks like watercolor painting. I like how they just stabbed his beard and he died. Scottish game. Scotland forever! Roguelike co-op hack and slash. Oh, okay, they got a plague doctor. I might get that. God damn it. Why am I such a fucking Kuma, man? Like, I wasn't even gonna get that game as well. I need fucking mental health. Don't they release like one of these a year?
Why not? Are you sure?
What is that character in Dragon Ball? What's that pink thing? Chat, what is that? Alright, if I see anyone saying pyro in chat, you're getting timed out for real. That's crazy. Shut up, guys. That's crazy. The amount of times to see that inflated character and everyone just starts assing me. The same character like 6 times. Pre-order bonus. Pre-order bonus. He gets a different hair color. Is this a new game or is this Insurgency 2? I actually can't even tell. Sniper 3D on Android. I don't think this is on Android. It looks like Arena Breakout. Nah, it doesn't look like Tarkov. Oh no, Arena Breakout is the Tarkov clone that the Tarkov devs were like crying about. Those Delta Force Hawk Ups. God, what a generic name. This looks exactly like Insurgency, bro. Shoot the kids. Shoot the kids. It's not a war crime if they don't find out. What happened to that game? What was it, 5 days in Fallujah? That game kind of just came out and disappeared. 5 days at Freddy's. There's actually been 3 games so far. We got Call of Duty, Zombie Game, and Dragon Ball Game. I didn't expect a single game. There's actually 3 games. If I see a single person say pyro, hey, you're getting a ban. I'm not even telling you, I'm just banning you straight up. Let's see one guy. I'm waiting for the first guy. Yep, there we go. There we go. Yeah, gone. Gone. Banned. Banned. Levy, you're losing your mods. And banned. I like how the guy said the Black Hawk Down gameplay is based on the movie. And the movie was based on the real Black Hawk Down incident. Laughing my fucking ass off. No. We don't need this. We don't need Blumhouse making games. Please, God.
I'm not ready.
Okay, why does it look good though? Oh, scary. VR? Yeah, VR slot. No, they've got the PS1 horror, it's over. All of those games actually seem interesting. Okay, Blumhouse games might actually have games.
I must wait a minute.
Okay, this looks like an A24 game. Taking Bambi to the butchers.
I'm not
we
ready
literally have Baby Reindeer video game. Deer and Boy. This is a basic name. That looks good though. I would actually play that. That looks good. What's that game where you play as a knight? What's that game? It literally is the sequel. It's the sequel. The one set in Bohemia. Kingdom Come, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't get into it, honestly, but I'd be willing to give the sequel a try. Yeah, I couldn't get into Kingdom Come. I really tried to with the combat and stuff, but enemies would carry me, like, block me no matter what. I was literally just bad at the game, honestly. Because it almost has, like, a feel like Oblivion. But just obviously way better looking.
I must wait a moment.
There's a game! Oh, this year as well, though. Actual games are coming out this year. What the hell?
Next, we step into the dark mind of Silent Hill creator Keiichiro Toyama-san. Back in 2021, we announced his new game, Slitterhead, at the Game Awards.
Okay, let's see. This won't be a Silent Hill game, though, right? Who did Silent Hill again? Konami? Is it Konami? They wouldn't give them a platform because they fucked over Kojima. They literally wouldn't even have it here. Ooh. What? Okay, as soon as it switched to gameplay, I got a little bit worried. Oh, it looks a bit rough. It looks a little bit static. Ooh. Why are you just showing people being killed? Can they not fight back? You just go into another human that can be killed. Oh, you do get weapons. It's kind of like Parasite Eve. So I guess you can possess anyone, but then there's like certain characters that are stronger, like story characters.
I must wait a moment.
Okay, that platforming is kind of funny. Just expecting there to always be someone waiting on the balcony. Yeah, it looks all right. Oh my! Oh, Kino! Oh my God, Kino! Yes. We have. There's another game. There's actually another game. He's missing every shot. It's going over their heads. A game. I don't care. I don't even care. Oh my God.
There's a reason why I'm.
Oh my God. Editors, make this the thumbnail. Make this. It's first person.
I'm not ready yet.
It's a game. It's a good game. It's actually a game. Why does this look good? Holy.
I do not have enough spirit.
Holy cinema. Boys is peak. Dude, if you can choose between first and third person, that's actual peak though. I am playing that all in first person. Yeah, there's actually games. Did I slip into like an alternate dimension or something? What's happened? There's games. Ooh, this is like peaks of yore, right? Well, maybe not. Oh no, it's... Oh, this actually looks kind of interesting though. I wonder if it'll be another Rage Bear game. Because the art style, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of story driven. Chat is just going crazy that you can see her feet. You guys are literally self-reporting. You do know that, right? That looks cool. I'll be honest, I'm just happy that there's actual games and it's not all just anime slop. There's no way you said woke climbing game just because it's a woman.
I must wait a moment.
Of course, I have to act and serve the T4 customers.
I like that character design with the knight. That was cool. He had a little tie on.
When all the chores are done, sometimes I'll just sit on a bench. And what's weird is that I actually feel
more time.
Good. I can stop. I can stop. I can stop running. I need to enjoy this.
I must wait a moment.
Okay, I didn't give a shit about that game, but that ending was really good. That kind of makes me think you're playing as like a bad guy, and you just keep getting the impulses to do bad shit. That could actually be good. That could be good.
I'm not ready yet.
The fold. It's that fold.
Why are all my games so woke? There's too many women. I'm not ready yet.
Someone in chat just said woke spoken. Woke spoken too. That's crazy.
I do not have enough spirit.
There were anime games so bright, bro. Awakening. Awakening. I genuinely can't tell. I feel half of you are being like sarcastic, and then the other half are being actually genuine.
I'm not ready yet.
Is this the same studio like From Software used for the Elden Ring trailer? It looks similar. This might actually be the same animation studio. It looks really similar.
I'm not ready yet.
Souls. Dude, I swear I had that mask like 7 years ago. That's old.
I must wait.
Why would they not shoot him? It's like, sir, you've got a little bit smaller. Have you not been hitting the gym? Oh, copy. Great. Now the stream's gonna get copyright strike if you're playing M83. DMCA. I can't play it. They're playing M83 outro, which is like a Kino song, but I literally can't play it because they're gonna take down the whole stream. You people are so stupid. We don't think that are they doing this as like a backup so like we can't react to it? No, the whole stream's gonna get claimed. I actually like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because I've been streaming for like 9 hours. I'm surprised they're using it because that's a really old song. I really would try to enjoy this trailer, man, but I'm just too scared of getting the copyright claims. I'll be honest. I have Giat something in my eye. I have Giat something in my eye right now. Comes out on the PS4. Enjoy 10 FPS. No gameplay. All right, there was no gameplay, but she had a fat ass though, so I'll allow it. I will allow it.
From Inner Sloth, here are Victoria Tran and Forrest Willis.
The Giat sentence.
What's up, gamers? Can we announce something totally fake? Do you
like-
think they'll let us do that?
Among Us 2? Among Us 3?
Wait a moment.
4? Oh, well, there's been so many great indie games in recent years, but it's also been no secret that it's kind of a rough time in the industry. That's why we're excited to announce our side project, Power Slap. An indie game we made that offers the kind of deals we would have wanted back in our less popular Among Us days.
Did he say Among Us? Are these the guys that made Among Us? Oh, these are the guys that made Among Us. This is Indie Slop. Outer Slop. Among Us 2. Among Us 2. Among Us 2. Among Us 2.
I'm incredibly nervous to reveal it here and show you the current lineup of games we've managed to fund.
Among Us 2. Among Us 2. Among Us 2. Please God. Please God. They might as well have opened it by saying, guys, we're the people that made Corpse Husband famous.
I must wait a moment.
I'm Ian from Shape Shack. We're from the studio, creators of Battle Chef Brigade, and this is...
Yeah, they can actually make so many games now because that budget, all the money they got from Among Us.
We're making the Master Archives, a game about building and exploring connections.
Hi, we're Midnight Lunges. We just released a demo for one-button
I'm not
bosses
ready
for
yet.
boss rush game.
Okay, that one looks fun. I would play that one.
Where you'll have to customize and master your starfighters to take on merciless armadas and vanquish a fleet of colossal super destroyers.
I must wait a moment.
What was Among Us 2? What was Among Us? Yeah, it's over. It's over. Yeah, it's over, boys. It's over. Wrap it up.
Impressive.
Among Us 2! Among Us 2! Why did we not get Among Us 2? Actual bait. The S.W.Frost one looked good though. That was actually a game. That was a game. He looks so dead. Probably because everyone keeps asking him on Twitter, where's Among Us 2?
An Among Us TV show.
Holy keto. I know Elijah Wood is in the Among Us TV show, but is there actual footage of it? Okay.
I'm not ready yet.
Why is it so flat? What is that animated on, like 15 frames? I'm not sure what that's animated on. I would still be watching the Among Us TV show. Patton Oswalt, Dan Stevens, Elijah Wood. Yeah, I knew Elijah Wood was in it. YouTube Shorts animation.
We have Sonic X Shadow Generation.
That's not very nice.
A definitive greatest hits collection of 3D and 2D levels from Sonic and Shadow's history.
I must wait a moment.
The only Sonic game I've ever played was Shadow the Hedgehog, and that was peak, even though the reviews for it are shit. I got an editor called Karma, and I know he's just going to be soy-facing right now. Ooh, you actually play as Shadow? Okay. Does Shadow get a gun, though? If Shadow gets a gun, I actually will be buying. I remember how Shadow got a gun, and he was so edgy and cool. I don't think Shadow gets a gun. It might be over. I like how the gameplay for these games is still so basic. They look so cool. No gun, no buy. True.
I must wait a moment.
What was that guy that Shadow could side with in Shadow the Hedgehog? The evil black guy. The guy with the funny cape. Black Doom. That's right, Black Doom.
I must wait a moment.
No, I didn't. No, it's not Obama. It's Black Doom. Did they make him look like Timothy Chalamet? He looks a little bit off. I still haven't watched Doom Part 2. Apparently it's really good. Watch Doom 2 right now. Put on a full film like XQC did. Why are their eyes blue again? Isn't it because the spice? Dune Awakening. Oh, it's an MMO. Yeah, it's over. Excuse me guys, I'm going to talk to Call of Trades. He wants me to do a quest for 50 XP. Here come the anime games. Guerrillion. 2 games.
I'm not ready.
Like the Dune game was so bad. There's now a game has now been lost. A game has now been removed. So we've gone from 3 games to 2 games.
I must wait a moment.
That looks cool. No gameplay. I mean, that animation's sick, but no gameplay.
I must wait a moment.
That's why we need gameplay. As soon as I saw that bedtime, I knew it. That's why whenever there's a cool looking As soon as I saw gameplay, it was dead. Actual iPhone 12 game. Now we have one game. Okay, guys. Okay, stop. If we're doing the bit where we lose a game, if the game's bad, we're gonna be like a negative 20 games by the end of this. We're not doing that, okay? If there's a game, we keep it. We have 3 games so far. I'm not ending the stream on negative 20 games. The trailer was so cool though. That's why you never believe the trailer. Okay, this will be interesting because the finals kind of fell off, but they obviously made a lot of money, so they're probably pushing for more players. Are the announcers in the game like AI as well? I thought that was cool. Kyoto 1568. Oh damn, that looks good though. Yeah, the finals always looked so good, like graphics wise. I genuinely think it's a really good game. I hate the small builds in the game though. They're just always sweats, just running around with a taser. They actually made a Place Japan game. Honestly, best build in that game. Go for the heavy build, get the Lewis gun, actual free win generator. Sam, like, oh, please do the face, please do the face. I'm begging, please do the face. He's so, I love him. I love him. He's baby. That's enough. Thank you. I am finished. I thought weird.
You see, this is now the only way they let me come on stage to tell you something exciting.
I must wait a moment.
News about Alan Wake 2.
Alan Woke? Every game is ruined. It sucks though, because with Alan Woke 2, they just cut in copies apparently. It's the same situation as Prey.
I'm not ready yet.
Decided to announce physical deluxe editions.
Yeah.
And physical collector's edition.
That sucks.
I'm not ready
They
yet.
basically gave Sam the floor just to be like, please buy our game, guys, please.
Some expansion content for Alan Wake 2.
Ooh, okay, this could be good.
I must wait a moment.
Introduce you all to Night Sprint.
I feel they're going to do a roguelite mode, right? I feel that's what they're cooking.
Familiar,
I must wait a
fan favorite, playable characters.
Okay.
Serious what-if scenarios.
Okay, that's actually interesting.
Night Springs will be playable
today.
In less than 24 hours.
Holy base! Holy base! As soon as you check this watch, I'm actually getting that right now. That's sick.
World premiere.
I might stream that tomorrow. That's actually sick. Actual Alan Woke DLC tomorrow. There's actually games. What happened?
I must wait a moment.
He's my #1 fan.
Trapped in a fish.
My love.
Oh, they actually have Sam Lake because they scan his face for characters, but he's voiced by the Max Payne guy. God, I wish I could rapid tap enemies that quick, but he's run up on the. Oh shit! It's the woman from Control. Ooh, I like woke games. That's actually Kino. Amazon Game Studio. This will be. What was that Amazon MMO game that was being shilled on Twitch for like a week straight because it was just so obvious everyone was being paid? New World. That's right. Yeah, New World. Yeah, it was just so obvious that like everyone got paid to play it, and then it just died after a week. Did you say the Fight Club music? You know it came before Fight Club, right? No. New World. I've just purchased a new bed. I like how so many expansion packs do that. It's like, let's make everything red and angry. Things have changed. Whereas my games, we literally just got Alan Wake 2 DLC. Like, there have actually been games. We had, like, Zombie Game, Killer Bean, Call of Duty, Blumhouse. We've actually had, like, a lot of games. I thought I was going to be so cynical here, but, like, this is really good. I've jinxed it now. This will be a non-game. Oh, yeah. Yep. Not a game.
I'm
just
not ready
one game.
yet.
How do they all look the same though? Like all the anime fighting games. It's crazy. I mean that robot design is sick though.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, Dark and Dark is actually gonna be good. I played the beta a little bit. It's actually kind of fun. Yeah, I like how the game just still looks like absolute ass. But it just doesn't matter. Like, if the game's fun, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't look absolute ass. I've noticed that games that don't focus on graphics end up being the best, like gameplay was.
All right, now here's the announcement of the release date for Capcom's upcoming Kinitsugami
I must wait a moment.
He turned into a tadpole. -10 games, but like there's a multiplier. The there's 2 non-games in a row, it doubles. So we're technically at negative 15 games now. No games combo. Yeah, next it'll be actually negative. It'll be negative 20 games, and then it'll go to negative 40 games. Okay, it's not anime. There's no way someone said Rick and Morty. There's what? Because bright colors and blue hair. That could be a game. Isn't it Hyperlight Drifter? Is it the same universe? Hyperlight Breaker. That could be a game. Okay, this actually looks really fun. They actually have Dolan in the game. This could be a game. Oh, each one has a different attack. What can the corgi do? Just abusive. Average corgi. I would definitely play as the crocodile with the glasses.
That looks worn.
Poor corgi. Yeah, they got
it.
Dolan in the game. That's actually pretty sick.
We know you may have heard the stories about the fine people here at MCorp, so we wanted to take this time to dispel any of these completely unfounded rumors and allegations and reassure you that things here at MCorp and the city of San Amsterdam have never been better. We love it here at MCorp, and we are not going anywhere. We'll be here a long...
Is this a game? Yeah, it's Unreal Engine 5. It's pretty good looking. There's like a Devolver Digital press conference.
Welcome back to Summer Game Fest, and now let's head to Sam Amsterdam for a new look at Skate from EA.
Oh, new skate.
Oh, crap. Some really bad stuff's happening out there. They're gonna need a lot of help cleaning that up. That's bad.
I can break that down.
Ah. Surely show more than that. Thank God. Yes, parkour. Oh, this might actually be sick, though. I really hope they have NPCs you can fuck around with, though, because that was half, like, the funny in Skate.
I'm talking about Power.
Okay, Power Word fell off. Come on, buddy. No one can save that. When did you ever get a gun in? Oh, yeah, there were guns in Power World. That's right. Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be free, right? Yeah, it's an update based. It's not going to save the game, though.
Next up, we've got a big announcement from Valorant. Here's Andy Ho and Anar Gilfison from the Valorant dev team.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Jeff. Since 2020, we have been fortunate to serve players in their pursuit of what we call the Valorant moment.
When they say Valorant moment, I just think of when ISP was telling a woman to shut up over and over. Were you just racist in chat? Valorant moment. Unrealistic trailer, no slurs were being said. I don't even remember that character. I haven't played Valorant in a fat minute, to be fair. Oh boy, console players. I mean, at least it'll be easier now. Just dome them and they'll blame it on aim assist.
Summer Game Fest 2020.
It's over. The ads are coming in, boys. Where's the thing that comes up saying you can skip mid-roll in 5 seconds? Where is that? Why is that not here?
Come on, get off. I am butt naked from the waist down, so...
Get out of the fucking bed, dude.
Get out of the bed.
How much are they paying these guys? That was Chris Hemsworth. Is that Queso? No, it's the guy that voices BoJack Horseman. What's his name again? Will Arnett. That's right. Yeah, it's Will Arnett.
You think? You're supposed to be a lumberjack?
That's the guy from Rocky as well, I think. So much fanfare for a little mobile game. Because they paid money. It's an ad spot. Literally an ad. Oh, video game. The cats don't speak. They didn't speak in World. I never got the Monster Hunter games because it's like the controls, it's almost like Red Dead 2 where it's like there's input delay on everything you do. It's really weird. But like there was way more input delay. I remember playing Monster Hunter World and there was just so much input delay on any attack. It was just like impossible to play. I really tried to get into it, but I just couldn't. I will do the same with that game where I buy it, play it for 3 hours, and then never touch it again.
Phantom Blade Zero from S-Game wowed us all with its blazing fast combat and stylish art. Well, I'm honored to share with you the brand new trailer for the game featuring all real gameplay. Here's our final game of the show, Phantom Blade Zero.
Bloodborne PC is coming any second, could you imagine? They'll do a remake of Bloodborne. They'll bring it out on the PS5, and then it will come out on PC like 2 years later. This is Elden Ring? No. It looks like Sekiro a bit though. Phantom Blade Zero. Oh, are they done already? I expected like a big reveal. They've got indie games coming up now, and then they've got Devolver, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I can do it because that means staying up until like, that sounds like it's going to be staying up until like 4 in the morning for me. I don't think I can do that.
10 hours stream. This has been my longest edging session ever.
10-hour edging session. How long can you edge for?
I must wait a moment. I cannot carry anymore.
Is happening after the death.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I agree.
It's not like he's like cutting them open while they're still alive and stuff, because none of the women are screaming, making noise, stuff like that. It sounds like he's slitting their throats and then doing it.
I do think he's a very calculating and efficient killer as well. I think he would know exactly how to target and kill as quickly as possible.
He has some
so
level
he would have
of
more time.
Aptitude. Yeah, I think so.
And I think he's very opportunistic as well. I think he definitely knows when to strike or when best to strike.
Yeah, I agree. Police officers were called to the hectic scene. People were standing around trying to catch a glimpse of Elizabeth, but little did they know that the killer was still on the streets, lurking, looking for another victim. 45 minutes after Elizabeth was found, another officer, Constable Watkins, walked down Mitre Square where he noticed something strange on the ground. What he found was the horrifically mutilated body of Catherine Eddowes. Catherine had been disemboweled, her intestines drawn out and placed over her right shoulder. The killer had mutilated her face, cutting all across, over her eyes, her nose, and cheeks, and mouth. There was a massive slice across her neck, her larynx severed just below her vocal cord to the bone. Clotted blood was across the pavement and around her neck and arm, and notably, her right outer ear and lobe was cut off. Something that was mentioned in the previous Dear Boss letter that Jack the Ripper sent to Central News that was still, at this point, unreleased, which proves the validity of the first letter.
Yeah, so that was definitively proven to be from the Jack the Ripper, which is why that nickname was obviously continued.
That's why it stuck, because he referred to himself as Jack the Ripper in his first letter, yeah. Just before 3 a.m. that night, a fragment from Eddowes' apron that she was wearing was found covered in blood and fecal matter at the base of a stairway at a tenement on Goulston Street at Whitechapel. It was found by
I don't know if that means that he shit on it or if like he just dirtied it in the streets maybe or something. I don't know.
What probably happened is when you remove someone, okay, this is very graphic. When you remove someone's intestines, you have to cut it out at the where the rectum is, basically, right? So as you're pulling that out, it's gonna spill, basically. Yeah,
I didn't consider that.
Such a lovely image. Yeah,
I thought he was just. My assumption from reading that was like he was insulting the memory of her, so he just shit on her scarf.
I mean, it's not impossible. You know, it would depend on how. But if I had to guess, it's probably from the disemboweling.
Yeah, that would make more sense, definitely.
Just before 3 a.m. that night, a fragment from Eddowes' apron. It was found by Officer Alfred Long, who had passed the area just 25 minutes earlier. He was adamant that it was not there when he passed by earlier. When Officer Long stood up, he noticed chalk on the wall above the apron. A clue. It read, quote, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing."
I've read that about 3 times and I still can't make sense of it. Like what that means. The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing. I can't stand double negatives.
I think he's saying he's to not blame the Jews. Okay, so if we assume the double negative is meant to be there, he's saying that the Jews are not to be blamed for something they didn't do, right? Or if he's saying they will not.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's the Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing. For my assumption right now, reading that, he's saying if they're being blamed, it's not for nothing. They're being blamed for a reason. That's my...
It could also be he's saying that regardless of what he does, because he was mentioned, Jack the Ripper was mentioned as being Jewish in the paper. He could be saying that the Jews are going to be blamed for it regardless. Maybe.
What a weird statement, regardless.
It is. It is. Well, I mean, clearly he's wanting to play with the police and his public image, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, like, he probably read the paper, and he either is Jewish or isn't, but he wanted to, you know, express that with the chalk on the wall.
All part of his game.
He's not gonna give anything that's actually a clue per se.
No.
He just wants to play, basically.
It's a red herring, probably.
Yeah. The area the message was left had a large Jewish community, and the police were very concerned with the rise of anti-Semitism that had been going around in the city due to the murders. Yeah, and maybe the fact that the paper said, well, we don't know a lot about him, but he is Jewish, so be on the lookout. Like, maybe that had something to do with the anti-Semitism.
Yeah, that could have played a part in it. I mean, it was already an that still
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It was still, I mean, it was the 1880s. Everyone was prejudiced against someone, so, but yeah, that didn't help. There were conflicting opinions between the city police and the Metropolitan Police on whether the graffiti should be erased. The Metropolitan wanted it gone, fearing the consequences and unrest it would cause. City police were not, as they deemed it a crucial piece of evidence, at least wanting it photographed. I think that's a good compromise, right? Like, take a picture of it, and then...
Yeah, I'm assuming, though, that it was unable to be photographed because... due to the time of setting up a camera at that time period, maybe they didn't have access to the camera easily.
And also, you need a lot of lighting for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what the flash pan's for. Anyway, but this would mean it would have to stay up until sunlight, meaning people would see it. Eventually, Sir Charles Warren, a police commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, arrived and demanded that it needed to be taken down immediately, which was contested as a controversial decision. I don't know. See, normally I'd be like, no, don't touch any evidence, but I honestly don't know what they could get from that. Maybe the writing, this, you know, like the handwriting, like write it down. I don't know.
I think all evidence should be photographed at least. Like,
yeah, I think it should all be photographed for sure. But in 1880, what do you think they could have gotten out of that? I also agree. I also default with you that evidence should be cataloged.
Yeah. I don't know what they could get from it.
But you're also in the middle of a Jewish community where it seems there's like a bunch of violence against them already, and the police are afraid of that. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would still err on the side of keeping the evidence and photographing it, and maybe I'm not sure of like the, you know, architecture of the area or anything, or how possible this would be, but just like cordoning it off until you could remove it safely while still retaining the evidence, like just keeping people away from the area, maybe. I don't know, but they took the option of removing it. Interestingly enough, there's a theory surrounding the message that links the wording of Jews, which he spelled as J-U-W-E-S, to Freemasonry. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Some interpretations suggest that Jews, as it's spelled, could refer to the three figures in Masonic legend who end up killing Hiram Abiff, the architect of Solomon's Temple. The three Jews being Jubela, Jubelo, and Jubelum. Theory suggests that the Ripper had some connection to Freemasonry or was using Masonic symbolism, but others simply believe this to be a message intended to incite racial or religious tension in the area.
Yeah, so what do you think?
So there's two different ways to look at it. We'll talk about it more as we get like near the end. The Freemasonry connection is fascinating. However, Freemasonry, especially in England in the 1880s, was way more predominant than it is now. Like right now, it's reserved. I mean, really, any like, you know, secret government control thing is relegated elsewhere. It's not like what it used to be. But at one point, it was like the community for thinkers. That's why like the founders of most nations, including America, were Freemasons, right? It was like a high society club that it kind of has the reputation for now. So if Jack the Ripper was a like smart person who like had some understanding of biology of how to get away with murder, stuff like that,
a doctor.
exactly like a doctor, there is a solid chance he was Freemason or Freemason adjacent. So naturally, he maybe would spell Jews the way that Freemasonry does in their legends of like Solomon's Temple and stuff like that. The question is, does that relate to the murders? Like, I think there is a clue there for investigators on tracking down who this person could be. Even if he wasn't Freemason, the higher ups in society might have writings that reference Jews with that spelling. So it could or could not be a clue to who the perpetrator is. But the question we have to ask is, does that mean part of his motivation was through Freemasonry or not?
Let's briefly go back up to the Dear Boss letter, just to kind of provide supplementary evidence to what you're talking about right now, with how he is possibly, you know, at least an educated person of high standing, let's say like a doctor or something adjacent to that. I found the Dear Boss letter written extremely well, surprisingly well for what I would assume.
For the time.
Is the time. The handwriting is very legible and very nice, almost aristocratic.
He's clearly educated.
Yeah, he not like super, offensive spelling or anything like that. Like very.
And plus, this was the 1880s. Like, literacy wasn't that common, much less good handwriting and grammar, right? So there is some level of, education here.
Yeah, pointing to an educated person.
Yeah.
And again, like, not just that, the handwriting itself. Like, I think it's very neat and orderly, and it reminds me of the kind of writing that you would see from like an aristocrat. So I definitely think it's someone of, well, personally, I definitely think it's someone of a higher standing in society, which is interesting.
I agree.
It could be someone that obviously had Freemasonry connection. So it's not even.
I mean, like, put it this way, I think it is impossible that Jack the Ripper didn't at least know of the Freemasons, right?
Yeah.
And if he was highly educated, there's a good chance he was one of them. Again, the question is, does that relate to the killings, or is that just like a clue as to his identity, right?
Or it's entirely possible that it's not even like he is a Freemason, or he is Freemason adjacent, or he doesn't know of the Freemasons, but this connection that we're talking about right now with spelling the Jews J-U-W-E-S is completely unrelated.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he could have just been reading a book or something where someone said the word Jews, and that person was a Freemason and spelled it that way, and he, whatever. Yeah.
So October 1st, the Saucy Jack postcard arrived, or Saucy Jackie. This postcard arrived. Another letter was received by the Central News, dated for the 1st and received the same day. A postcard arrived smeared with what appeared to be blood and red pen. It read, quote, "I was not codding, dear old boss." I think kidding? I was not codding. It's spelled codding, C-O-D-D-I-N-G.
Codding's an old word. Hold on.
Play a joke or trick.
Play a joke. Yeah.
So it is it's probably where kidding is derived from.
Yeah, probably.
"I was not codding, dear old boss, when I gave you the tip. You'll hear about Saucy Jackie's work tomorrow. Double event this time. Number 1 squealed a bit. Couldn't finish straight off. Had not the time to get ears for police. Thanks for keeping last letter back till I got to work again. Jack the Ripper."
Man, that is haunting. Oof.
Yeah. So the reason why the first one, it was too dangerous for him to stay around. He determined that it was too much of a public scene, and she had made too much noise.
Yeah, he outright says it there, right? Like, sorry, couldn't get the first one. She was too loud.
Yeah.
So I had to go find another victim.
And so, so that's why he went and killed the second individual, is because he really wanted that ear as proof that he's the real deal. So
yes, that confirms without a doubt that both of these letters are him, because no one else would know that.
The handwriting was similar to the previous letter and also references it with talking about getting, quote, ears for the police. It also references the double event at a time when the murders had not made their way to the newspapers or media, leading many to think that the letters were legitimate and from the killer. But this can also be argued due to the news of the murder having been spread throughout the town with word of mouth, allowing a short period of time for someone who may not have been the murderer to write the letter and send it to the Central News. I don't think that would have been possible, though.
Yeah, I disagree.
Given how hard that would have been to like pull off in a quick kind of time.
I see no way unless like a cop saw the letter and wanted to go do his own killing, which would be an absurd coincidence. I see no way that he gets in one letter that's like, I'm gonna get an ear from the next one, and then before that letter ever hits the public, he's like, oh, sorry, I had to kill a second one to get that ear. Here you go.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so after that, on October 16th, so 2 weeks after, we have the From Hell delivery. So around 2 weeks later, the apparent Jack the Ripper sent a delivery to the chairman of Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, George Lusk. Accompanying the letter was half of a preserved human kidney. Oh. George was a leader in civilian efforts in catching the killer. It was dated from 15th, arriving to George a day later. It read, quote, "From hell, Mr. Lusk, sore, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman, preserved it for you to the..." This seems much more like jumbled writing.
Illegible and incorrect writing.
Yeah. I took from one woman, preserved it for you together piece. I fried and ate it, was very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that took it out if you only wait a while longer. Signed, catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk.
I mean, immediately, the handwriting is very different.
Handwriting's
to what we've
way off.
previously seen.
Spelling's way off.
Even just the kind of tone, I think, is...
I fried and ate the liver, or the kidney, I mean, like...
Yeah, this seems... I don't know if I would call it a hoax.
He says it's from hell in the beginning, you know?
Yeah, I don't personally subscribe to the theory that this one is actually Jack the Ripper.
George Lusk initially thought it was simply a sick joke, assuming the kidney may have been from some sort of animal. However, in showing other people on the Vigilance Committee, they disagreed with his assessment. The kidney was taken to a local surgery where an assistant doctor, Dr. Reed, thought the kidney to be human. There were many hoax letters going around that, quote, came from Jack the Ripper, but many think the From Hell letter to be authentic, especially considering the contents it came with. One of the victims, Catherine Eddowes' kidneys, was removed by the killer. Some also thought that the kidney was acquired by medical students and they sent the letter as a prank. Upon examination, Dr. Openshaw thought the person whom the kidney came from was a woman who suffered from Bright's disease and was an alcoholic who died within the last few weeks. But this also has been disputed with lots of conflicting media and news reports. Again, the spelling seems weird. Maybe if he was in a rush to write it, but I don't think so. Him saying that he fried and ate the kidney seems weird.
The only way I would accept this as being Jack the Ripper is if I had known that Jack the Ripper either had like a, Heckle and Hyde kind of attitude shift, or he fell down some stairs and hit his head, because it's so different to what had previously come.
It's strange. It's definitely strange. Not to say he isn't capable of that evil, but it just doesn't match him that much. And also the fact that I'm not going to say maybe it is an animal kidney. I have heard stories about that where back then they were like, oh, this is definitely from a person. That turns out it's like a, like a monkey kidney or whatever. But a doctor examined it and says it seems to be from a woman who died of Bright's disease, wasn't murdered. Is pretty telling that back then they didn't think it was from like a murder victim.
Yeah, true.
Dr. Openshaw actually received a letter himself on the 29th of October, but many believe it to be a hoax. It read, "Old boss, you was right. It was the left kidney I was going to operate again." Okay, yeah, this isn't him. I was going to operate again close to you hospital, just as I was going to draw my knife along of her bloomin' throat. Then cusses across her bloomin' throat. This is how most people spoke or sounded at the time. Her bloomin' throat, them cusses of coppers spoilt the game. But I guess I'll be on the job soon and we'll send you another bit of innards. Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, so you see the kind of class difference from the original letters. That's what I mean. Like this sounds like like a person on the streets kind of sending in a letter.
And again, there were a ton of hoax letters. This sounds like someone's like, oh, this guy's publicly the medical investigator, or this guy's publicly trying to stop him, I'm gonna send him the funny letter. And half a kidney I said I ate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he finished his letter by saying, "Oh, have you seen the devil with his microscope and scalpula looking at a kidney with the slide cocked up?" Yeah, no.
No. I don't believe that there's any actual correspondence from Jack the Ripper apart from those two first letters, personally.
This is a 19th century troll.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so then we come to November 9th, Mary Jane Kelly. You can take this one. It's the last victim.
All right, so on November the 9th, we have the killing of Mary Jane Kelly. Many believe that Mary Jane Kelly was Jack the Ripper's last victim. Mary married at 16 and became a widow just a few years later when her husband died in a mining explosion. Shortly after this, she became a sex worker. Man, these are sad. She would spend time with well-off gentlemen and even accompany some to Paris. She adopted the name Marie Jeanette. For a short period of time, Mary's life began to stabilize. She met a man named Joseph Barnett and formed a relationship with him in 1887. They built their way up to live in a nice, small room on Dorset Street. However, Joseph lost his job, and to get by, Mary went back to working as a sex worker to Joseph's disapproval. That is so sad.
This time period sounds
so
awful.
sad, man.
This time period sounds like the worst time in human history. Just from these stories. These small little stories that have come out from this.
They were never able to resolve this and ended up going their separate ways after a few heated arguments. They did manage to remain on good terms after this, however, and Joseph helped Mary with a little bit of money when he was able to. He last saw her the night before she was murdered.
I'm not ready yet.
There are 2 confirmed sightings of Mary the night of her death, and 2 unconfirmed. The disputed sightings of Mary drinking with another woman at a pub called 10 Bells. The other sees Mary leaving a place called Britannia, very drunk with an unknown man. But at 11:45, Mary was definitely seen by someone she knew, a woman called Mary Ann Cox, looking incredibly drunk, going into her room with a man who is described to be blotchy-faced and carrying a beer. She could be heard in her room singing for a long time, long enough that other residents contemplated going in and complaining. At 2 a.m., another man who knew Mary, George Hutchinson, saw her on Commercial Street. Mary politely asked George if he had any money to spare, but he didn't. She simply then said goodbye and left when he saw her being approached by a very well-dressed man. They shared a laugh and began to walk together. George followed the pair and watched as they went up to Mary's room. George stayed outside, waiting, but after around 45 minutes, he ended up leaving.
What the fuck? What are you doing, George? Why are you stalking, basically? Why was he hanging around outside for 45 minutes? That's strange behavior.
Okay, there's 2 options. Either George was... I don't know George's character, so forgive me for the slander. Either George knew that Mary was a sex worker, and then upon seeing a well-dressed man is like, oh, is this like a politician perhaps, or a banker or something?
Oh, the blackmail angle?
Yeah. Maybe he's going to a sex worker, so I'm going to check out that. Or something about him tipped off George, and he was like, he may not have good intentions.
Yeah.
So he goes. Or third option, he was a perv who was like, oh, I can
having sex.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a peeping Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, again, very well-dressed man was last seen with her, which kind of corroborates the theory that this was a wealthy or very educated man.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has to be to some degree, right? For the killing and the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
45 minutes, he ended up leaving. Shortly after this, around 4 a.m., 2 residents of the house where Mary resided are alleged to have heard someone shout murder. They ignored it as it was common to hear such things in the area, apparently.
Yeah, as you do. As you do.
The old murder call of 4 a.m. Yeah. Classic Whitechapel. Yeah.
Happens every morning, just like the roosters crow. Murder.
Hold on. So at the last person who sees her before George is Mary Ann Cox, who sees her around midnight. And then she goes up to her room, and then 2 hours later, she's seen at 2 a.m., right?
Yep.
And then he follows her back and then ditches after 45 minutes. And around 4 a.m., someone hears someone yell murder.
Yep. So there's a solid like 2 hours there with this guy, potentially.
He was with the guy for 2 hours. George didn't hear anything in the 45 minutes he was here. So realistically, there's about an hour gap, right?
Yes.
I would imagine the person yelling murder wouldn't be her, right? Probably.
Who else would it be?
I mean, maybe there was some like homeless person walking by who saw the body or something, right?
No.
Like
we'll continue
all right.
the body discovery.
Yeah, I'll continue. Mary had rent overdue, and on the morning of the 9th of November, her landlord, John McCarthy, asked his assistant to go to her room to collect. It was just before midday, and Thomas Bauer knocked on the door to no response. Cautiously, he went around to look through the window, but saw the glass was broken. He peeped into the room and saw Mary laying on her bed, gutted and slashed apart. Mary's murder was tragically gruesome. Her left arm was partially removed. Her breast and features on her face entirely cut off. Organs were cut out of her and strewn across the room, but her heart was missing. Her neck was severed to the spine, and the bed she lay in was soaked in blood. She was 25 when she was murdered. This was the last murder thought to be performed by the Ripper.
You seeing the kind of, what would you call it, increase in severity of the injuries over time?
Organs across the entire room, heart missing,
yeah. He was obviously getting more confident, and if what you said is true, and there's an hour's worth of time also unjustified for or unaccounted for, I mean, it seems like he used all this time to really live out his
dress
fantasies.
up the scene.
Yeah,
and since she was found in her room, I was thinking she'd be found on the street, which is maybe why someone yelled murder, but being found in her room,
he had privacy this time, a lot of privacy.
Yeah, the options are either she yelled murder or the people were lying.
Yeah, or they could have heard they could have genuinely heard murder and they were right. It just happened. It's like people's chat that a lot for some reason at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, especially when there's a serial killer on the street, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Two kids could be walking down the street like, oh, murder, whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's the thing that happens all the time, and the police are like, did you hear anything? And they're like, yeah,
totally
someone yelled murder outside. Yeah. So who knows? But yeah, it seems that the killing is very elaborate at this point. It's honestly like Hannibal Lecter levels of like, making an exhibit out of it almost.
Yeah, just super fucked up. Like it was already fucked up, but it progressively got more and more fucked up over the course of the murders. But that is the final murder that at least has been, definitively attributed to Jack the Ripper. And so now let's go into the suspects and theories. First off, why did he stop? So I think that's important to kind of discuss, because there was a month there, or about a month, where he spree killed, basically. He killed 5 individuals in short succession, 2 on the same night, but then it just vanished. He just kind of stopped. There was no correspondence from him. There was nothing that could be directly attributed in the area to him. So why did that happen? Why did he stop? So one of the main theories, or one of the most prevalent theories about that, is that he died. So according to Statista, the life expectancy in the United Kingdom is in 1880 was just 43 years old. So it's not crazy to think that the murderer had just simply died. Diseases were rampant, with people dying from smallpox, measles, whooping cough, diarrhea, and many more such diseases at the time. A man traveling the early mornings of the time likely didn't have the best life expectancy in the first place, especially at the time period and the location. So, it's possible that he just straight up died, and that's why it stopped. Also, he was seeing sex workers, so maybe he got an STD and died from that.
Yeah, I think this is the most likely scenario, because like there's other explanations, sure, but someone like Jack the Ripper, from everything we know about serial killers in the modern age, they're not going to stop.
Yeah,
right.
The impulse. He was very obviously impulse driven. I don't see any single way that impulse.
The majority of the time, if they make their first kill, it's like an addict, right?
Yeah.
They're going to keep going back. So, yeah.
They're always, and that's why we see the kind of increase in severity from the murder.
He keeps getting more into it as time goes on, not the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, he's seeking that high over and over again and trying to push it further. So, but regardless, another theory potentially is he went to prison for another crime, so Jack the Ripper may have been caught for another crime committed, or it's even speculated that he may have been sent to a mental institute for mental health reasons. He could have lived the rest of his life locked away, never telling of his secrets and what he had done in the past to anyone. But I don't think that's likely, because could someone as, you know, boisterous and confident and proud of his deeds as, you know, the Ripper truly have gone without telling a soul of his exploits eventually? Like, I don't think so.
I think there would have been more letters.
Especially when he's caught. I feel like he would have bragged about his, like, prison cell inmates or you know, mental institute people. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll make a slight, like, kind of devil's advocate for that. What if he is like a high-ranking member of society or something, right? What if he loves his, like, pride and presentation of that, and even if he is happy with, like, this alter ego he's created of Jack the Ripper and loves it, what if he doesn't want his public image to be defamed? Like, he wants to have both sides of it, right? Like, imagine if he was like,
I'm channeling Charlie right now. I'm channeling Charlie. It's like how Bruce Wayne and Batman are different. He doesn't.
There you go. That's it.
Bruce Wayne
make it a Batman. Make it a Batman
Bruce Wayne is
you got it. You know it would be a more apt pop culture reference. The difference between Chancellor Palpatine and Darth Sidious.
Yeah, the rule of two. That's what he always brings up, right?
Yeah, that's why he always brings up the rule of two. But more specifically, how, like, Palpatine was like a public figure within the Republic, but also had, you know, the Darth Sidious.
Yeah, he was doing gross things.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to make this into a Star Wars episode. How long does it take two white guys to bring up Star Wars? 1 hour and 20 minutes.
That's a long time. Hey, that's a long time.
That's pretty good for us. Well, when there's 3 of us, it's multiplied. That's why it happens quicker. So,
the efficiency.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it is possible he could get caught or something, or live out his life and not mention it. So him never bringing it up, I think, could be explained. However, the fact there were no more murders, I think, can't be explained. I think he would have kept killing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at, for example, like a Ted Bundy figure, right? Like, I think that guy was content to kill until he died of old age, right? But after he gets caught and his reputation's defamed, then he goes out with it. If he was caught for something else, if this Jack the Ripper was caught for something else, I think he would have died with it.
So do you think that's a likely reason?
That he was imprisoned? No, I think it's possible. I think the dying is more accurate, because I think if you put, like, Jack the Ripper in prison for like 5 years, he's going to get out and he's going to kill again. So he'd either have to go to prison for something that's like basically a life sentence, or he died. I think dying's more likely.
Yeah, personally, I subscribe to the dying theory more so.
Yeah.
And then another one is too many police patrolling the area, so the murders had caused a frenzy and the public was scared, especially the night of the double murder. The police strongly believe that the killer might do something like that again. Around 500 police and informants were sent to the streets, questioning suspicious people, keeping an eye out for any unusual activity. Everyone in the public was suspicious of everyone, and the killer may have deemed it too risky to continue on his rampage, forcing him to stop or to relocate to a different area entirely. He may have also nearly been caught, which, if true, could have scared him into stopping. I don't agree with that. I don't think that would have stopped him from killing at all.
I think it may have made him pause for a while,
Yeah, it may have made him wait, but again, the impulse would have been too strong, and I think we would have seen him again.
What's a really scary possibility, and I've thought this before about Jack the Ripper, is what if he just stopped, like, letting them find the bodies, right?
Ooh. But I feel like he liked them finding the body. I think that was part of it.
I think he did too, but I think if he was smart, like, you know, if we're saying he's like an educated guy, the number of police increasing in the area may have made him go, I should stop flaunting it as much, but I still need to get this urge out of me. So maybe, I mean, like, honestly, police at the time, even police nowadays to, you know, some degree, you know, if a sex worker goes missing, you know, things happen.
Yeah,
they just don't report it.
Yeah.
And if there's not a elaborate body to be found, a lot of the times they won't look into it.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that was even more prevalent back then.
I could only imagine before, like, modern record keeping. Absolutely.
Yeah. God damn it. It's sad. Okay.
You're welcome. Hold on. Let me make it better.
I must wait a moment.
If we look at Jack the Ripper and his two sides, it's kind of like the rule of two. He says.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy again. Star Wars. I'm clapping for Star Wars. Yay.
That's about it. See ya.
All right, let's get into the suspects.
We're forgetting that Charlie actually killed all these women. That's the part.
Yeah, I mean we're humoring the process. It's all gonna come back to Charlie.
We all know that Charlie actually.
We're building up for a compelling case against Charlie.
That's what this all is. Yeah, we're pinning these 6 murders on him.
6 murders from 140 years ago on our friend Charlie. You want to take the suspects?
Yep. So, the suspects. Number 1, Montague Jean Druitt.
I think it's Montague. I think I'd pronounce it.
Oh, Montague?
I'm not sure, but that's how I would pronounce it.
That makes sense. So I know the name Professor Montague. I don't know where from, but the name's familiar. Montague was a favorite suspect at the time of the murders. He was an assistant schoolmaster at a boarding school in southeast London when he was dismissed from the position. The reason why is still unknown. It was a month later, on December 31st, that someone found his body in the River Thames. Oh, a few days into the new year, testimony revealed that a letter had been found in his home. It described that Montague had lately been feeling like he was going to be like his mother. His mother had severe mental illness and being declared as insane, and that the best thing for him to do was die.
It's sad. That's sad, like realizing that you're succumbing to the same fate as your mentally ill mother.
It is sad, especially like mental illness before modern medicine and understanding, because it was either like God was cursing you, which is an insane take, or like, oh, sorry, I guess that's just you now, right? And we're not at all equipped to handle it, so it's either an asylum or you die. Your choice.
Yeah.
The timing of his death lined up with when the killing suddenly ceased. The police, specifically Sir Melville McNaughton, Assistant Chief Constable of the Metropolitan Police, heavily theorized that Montague was involved with the murders. This has led many to believe that he could well have been Jack the Ripper, but a lot of the connections are more circumstantial than direct evidence. In Sir Melville McNaughton's memorandum, man, that's a wild. Melville McNaughton's memorandum.
I'm so happy you read this one. I would have fucked that up so bad.
Where he lists Montague. In Melville's McNaughton's memorandum of Montague, where he lists him as a suspect.
It sounds like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style novel or something.
Yeah, he lists Montague at the monastery on Monday.
I love alliteration.
He gets a few key pieces of information wrong. He lists Montague as being 41 when he was actually 10 years younger. Melville speaks of Montague's brain giving away altogether after what happened to Mary Jane Kelly on the 9th of November, but actually he was still working as a barrister and teacher until the end of November, where his dismissal is most likely what sent him on a spiral to take his own life. Montague's family has been said to have believed him of being the killer, or very suspicious of him, but this is all hearsay, and he didn't have any direct links to the area where the killings happened in Whitechapel.
I don't know though, like, yeah, there's not much evidence towards him being the killer, but if he was a barrister and a teacher, he's probably pretty well off and also
that qualifies him, but I don't think it was, because what's happening here is confirmation bias. You have a timeline of when the killing stopped. So the police start looking for people who died around that time, and it's like, oh, here's an educated man who took his own life and was maybe mentally ill, but that doesn't... Someone writing like, I should take my own life so I don't end up like my mom, is not the same guy who sent a letter laughing to the police about cutting off a woman's ear.
Are you sure? Like, maybe if he was going insane, he would have killed people.
I'm saying it seems unlikely.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's the killer either. It's just I could see the argument for it.
I don't know, like the implication that he was relieved from school, maybe they suspected him of something. I feel like that would have been made more public He might be known with connection to the area. Again, I just think this is like the police grasping at straws after the killings quit.
Okay. All right, so this next one is Aaron Kaminsky. Aaron Kaminsky was a Polish Jew who is thought to have been originally born in Russia in 1865 and then immigrated to Germany with his sisters at 15 years old. He then made his way to Whitechapel, London, working occasionally as a barber. In 1890, he was admitted multiple times to Miles End Old Town Workhouse with claims that he had been... I don't know what that is, by the way. It might be a prison or like where they send you to do the hard labor, maybe.
It's probably a labor facility. Old Town Workhouse.
Yeah. Anyway, he had been sent there with claims that he had been showing threatening behavior and using a knife towards women. He was then transferred between multiple mental asylums, and it's reported he would hear voices and would be scared to eat or drink anything from other people, and he also refused to bathe. He ended up passing away from gangrene in 1919. Aaron was also named in... Oh, God, I'm going to have to say it now. Aaron was also named in Sir Melville Macnaghten's memorandum, but there have been some interesting developments regarding him in recent years. In 2014, a study was conducted that claimed DNA evidence linked Aaron to Catherine Eddowes, which was Jack the Ripper's fourth victim. The study looked at a silk shawl that was found by Catherine, found by her. Not, wait, how do I say this? It was found located next to her. We talked about it before, where her body was discovered.
Found in proximity of her.
Yeah, not she found it. The shawl believed to be covered in blood and semen. When looked at, those investigating the shawl found that DNA taken from it matched a living relative of Aaron, which they published in Journal of Forensic Science. This has, however, been met with some criticism because there are key bits of information missing from the paper, like specific genetic variants compared between the samples, instead represented by colored boxes and graphics. The authors have argued back that this is to protect the privacy of the living relatives and also makes the paper easy to understand for those who are just simply interested in reading about true crime. There is also the fact that the shawl could have been contaminated over the years or could have come from someone else living in London at the time. The evidence isn't strong enough to close the case of Jack the Ripper, but it certainly is compelling. Yeah, what do you think about that one?
No dice. Don't go.
No dice?
No dice. No? I'm a hard man to please.
Oh man, what do you need? What do you need to?
I think here's what I need. I don't think someone who, sure, he doesn't have to be a doctor to remove organs from people, but someone who is that well read, someone who thought about his crime, someone who is that ideal with it. I don't think it's the same guy who gets into drunken arguments and threatens women in public. I think he is very clean cut. I think he's very intelligent, and he knows how to keep himself hidden.
You wouldn't be able to tell that.
It wouldn't be the guy who's yelling and threatening women with knives.
Yeah, actually, I didn't consider that. I agree. I think he's far too methodical and in control.
This guy's too reckless. And I looked up what the workplace house is. It's effectively like a labor house that you stay at, like a light sentencing. So it's not a guy who's in and out of jail for effectively drunken disorderlies or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's him. I think that the DNA can be explained for a lot of things. Something not mentioned here is after DNA evidence gets so old, it degrades a lot. So you're not seeing oh, this is a 1-for-1 match of DNA. You are seeing, well, it could be, 20% of the population who have this genetic code, which is a much broader thing than saying a match. Even if somehow his DNA showed up on the victim, it's explicitly mentioned that he would often go to women of the night or threaten women or stuff like that. It's not impossible they cross paths, but no, I don't think he's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, you want to take Michael Ostrog?
Yes. So next we have Michael Ostrog. So not much is really known about Michael Ostrog, as he kept a pretty private life. He was born in Russia sometime in the 1830s and arrived in the UK in the 1860s. He was a petty thief, committed scams and robberies, and in 1863 spent 10 months in jail for attempting to rob the University of Oxford.
What an odd choice for a robbery. I mean, I guess they would have a lot of really expensive antiques and stuff.
Yeah, maybe they have relics or something. A lot what is it? it's something like 90% of thievery, at least in the modern day, is proximity based, right? So it's the majority of people like just walking and they see something and they're like, oh, I should steal that, right?
Yeah.
It's not like people are like, I'm going to go across town to this area and perform a hit. It's like, oh,
like
this
a
woman left her.
heist.
Yeah,
It's
it's like, oh,
opportunity.
there's a purse I can take. It's always stuff like that. So maybe this guy was just like at the university and was like, sure.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, what?
Gdje skačeš?
Da se radi.
Ovo nešto, gledam nešto, neki dokumentarac i igram malo ovaj Diablo. Tako.
I'm not ready
Evo ja
yet.
malo tek upalim.
Tim.
Ti tuga danas ili?
Da.
Pa da, vidim ja da si jutro.
I must wait a moment.
Znači, Milan je sve da sredi repetitor u dvorištu, a? Sad niko nema internet.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
Evo ga zatvoreva referal.
Ja nemam pojma.
Vidio sam da je sinoć bio kratko, pretpostavljam preko mobilnog telefona.
I must wait a moment.
Pa dobro, ti nisi preko Beltona.
Jesi.
Jesi?
A da.
Čekaj. Sto nešto sredili ili se meni čini ono?
Pa moguće. Pa da ja znam nije ni falilo interneta, samo... Je beka nešto palamudije tu. Nego je falilo bilo struje, pa možda zbog toga nešto se dešava. Nije bilo juče jedno 2 sata struje.
I must wait a moment. I must wait a moment. I must wait a moment. I'm not ready yet. 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 I must wait a moment. I must wait a moment. I must wait a moment. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I must wait a moment. I must wait a moment. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
This works.
I must wait a moment.
Šta ima? Isto tako. Jel uzimamo novi Call of Duty za $100.
I'm not ready yet.
Već dobiješ ga džabe s Xbox onim pesom ili?
I must wait a moment.
Pa dosta stvari sam vidio da daju za free.
I'm not ready yet. I must wait a moment.
Ma to je bilo zebancija.
I must wait a moment.
Reklamiraju gluposti koje igra sa istom grafikom, istim engineom, razumeš? Ista mehanika kretanja. Znaš, kao sad sa Black Opsom 6 imat ćete opciju da sprintate kao i u levo i u desno i u nazad. I to je vama novo. To je sad kao ono... Au, bret. Uzmeš govno i ofarbaš ga u žuto i kažeš ovo je sad žuto govno. Au.
Love well.
A pazi, ova šestica dolazi na Game Pass.
Pa da.
Some solid bits here.
25. oktobra. I ladno nudi već pre-install, da ćete ga već instalirati.
No što bi ga sad instalirao kad ne možeš da ga igraš?
A nemam pojma. Uzima 120.000.
Nas. Jo, pogledat samo.